And just like that, we are live once again on this good Saturday. What is this, like 3 Saturdays in a row? Look at us on a roll.
Yes, baby.
This is Key and Carrie. I'm Damon.
I'm Troy.
And this is Key and Carrie Live, where we review live content, mostly queer content. Right now, we're doing
Yes.
Chasing Reality, Chasing Dallas, season 6. This is episode 11. I forgot the name. The Company You Keep. No, that was last
Ooh,
episode.
last week's episode, baby. This
Oof.
is Carrying the Bones.
Carrying the Bones. Okay, shout out to you for remembering. But yes, it's live, so I always forget like when we do like live stuff, we can't just jump right in. It's kind of nervous host. Nobody's here, bitch. No, but
My goodness.
but yeah, shout out to the
Yes.
people that are gonna watch this on the playback. Shout out to the
Yes.
people that are
Yes,
gonna
yes,
come
yes.
and watch it live.
That are gonna join
Um
us. Heart
but
see eyes.
yes. So episode 11, we almost there. We almost there. We almost
Almost.
yes. So how
This
you feeling?
this this has been a long ass season.
It
Um,
has. It
this
has.
episode or this season premiered like 2 months ago. For some reason, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it aired like 9 months ago. But I am happy that towards the close of the season, we're getting a lot more personality. I feel like I'm kind of beating a dead horse when I give like my general thoughts on these episodes. But I
Mm-hmm.
am kind of happy that we're getting more personality from the cast.
Right.
Um, a couple of people who I didn't see it for in the beginning of the season, or have kind of like did a 180, kind of won me over. But just in general, this episode was cute as fuck. Like very
I kind of lived for it. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
did too. Like a lot of
Yeah.
sit downs, not too much chasing, but I always say if the sit down kind of has substance or we get to know a little bit more about these characters or what they do on the camera or off the
Hmm.
camera, I live for it. So I feel like a lot of these conversations were just kind of like picking each other's brains. Um, Almost
Hmm.
like this is the first time we've interacted, so let me get to know you. Let me get caught up on knowing you and like I guess the 2 3 months that we've been filming. So yeah, this episode was cute. Like I said, a lot of sit downs, a lot of
Hmm.
episodes, a lot of the conversations had substance. We got to know a little bit more about some of the cast members,
Right.
and we kind of got to see a little event or two, a couple of the cast members shaking and moving. So overall, I feel like this was a solid episode, better than like the previous 2 episodes, I would say. So
T.
again,
I
let us
think.
know in the comments. I'm sorry to cut you off, young, but let us know in the
No, go
comments
ahead.
how you guys, your opinions, your thoughts, as Damon
Yes, I.
says, on Chasing
Um.
Dallas, season 6, episode 11. Also, I just really want to say shout out to people who are going to join us on this live. You can like, comment, subscribe, share. Still on our journey to 1,000 followers.
Hmm.
Also,
Hmm.
if you are not a fan of the Chasing Reality, or if you are not subscribed to the Chasing Reality YouTube page or their premium membership, definitely go subscribe to them so that you can stay, in the know about all the Chasing Reality content that they are gearing up to drop or they are dropping. So, yes,
Right. Right. Right.
yeah, you have the floor. My bad.
Um. Yeah, I like this episode. I think there was a lot going on this episode. There was drama.
Mhm.
We got to see some events. We also got to hear some interesting conversations. I think recorded conversations that I don't know. I feel like some of the conversations had I don't really hear a lot of people having these conversations. At least like where I'm at and like who I
Mhm.
know, I guess. But yeah, I'm excited to get through the episode. It was a key. Like there were some moments where I thought it was hilarious. So do we want to get into it or do you have anything else to
Yes, we
add?
can just jump right into the review. Again, shout out
Okay.
to everybody who's going to join us on this good Saturday, this hot
Yes,
ass
shout out to
Saturday.
y'all.
Make
Hot
sure y'all
ass
stay
Saturday.
cool and stay hydrated, baby, because we don't
Yes.
need nobody passing out in this heat.
And I just want
But
to say my camera is giving like I think it's the color whatever, I forgot what it's called, but it's giving I'm in Mexico right now and it's hot as
yes,
hell in my apartment.
baby,
So like
it's giving tropical. Like
yes.
you on a
You know
beach
on
right now,
shows
and I'm
like
not living for it.
when they depict Mexico, it's like in this like orange light. I feel like that's what
Hmm.
this is giving. So
Yes, baby,
but
very
it's
much
hot.
late in San Juan.
Yes.
No
Not
chocolate
laid
cream
up in San
factory.
Juan.
My goodness. Anyway,
Oh, you know what?
make sure maybe
Continue.
don't take. Okay, I thought you was gonna take me out. I was gonna say don't do it.
I
Don't
thought
do it.
about it. I thought about it.
Also, make sure y'all got y'all drink. You know,
Yes. What are
every
you
weekend
sipping
I'm gonna have
on?
my. Then you already know my rat juice. I'm gonna
Bacardi.
get out of this phase. I swear I'm gonna get out of this. It's me and Ciroc all over again. But I
Baby,
swear
the Bacardi Limon has you in a chokehold,
it
and I don't know if you can
does.
get out of it.
It does. Like it's just so smooth. But yes, if y'all have
Hmm.
your bottle, you know, if you got your
Yes,
party
yes, yes,
favor
yes.
with
I'm actually
lowercase t,
yes, a
um,
lowercase t. Well, you do you just be safe. But it's I'm not here to judge, but that's not for me in my home. But I am actually sipping on a little matcha that I made just to get some energy. But yeah,
yeah,
it's a little matcha. I'm trying to save up my. I'm trying to hydrate before I go out tonight. So before the festivities, I guess you could say.
okay, matcha. Is that like a almost like a supplement or something like that?
No, it's
Or is that something?
basically like grounded up like green tea leaves. They grind it into a powder and then people make
Okay.
like drinks out of it. It gives you like energy. It gives me energy. But yeah, it's like a green
Okay,
tea
yeah.
version.
My
But
homeboy is drinking matcha and
mhm.
okay, shout out to that.
Hey,
So
it's pretty good. It's not bad. I put a little honey in it, you know.
shout out to that. Hey,
Mhm.
shout out to that. But yeah, just to kick off, let's get right into some fucking review, baby.
Yes.
Chasing Dallas, episode 11, season 6. So the first episode, I'm sorry, the first scene of the episode, we open with Mother and Jayla. Mother and Jayla, I'm sorry. I
Mother and
said
yes.
Mother has grown on me, like within these last couple of episodes. Like I
Mhm.
said earlier, as I mentioned earlier, Mother was one of the personalities at the beginning of the season that I didn't think that I would like care for, just because I thought they
Right.
were so focused on like, oh, I'm just gonna tell how it is. I'm gonna be the bone carrier. But I feel like with these last couple of episodes, they um kind of evolved. Like we've got to know more about the like back a little bit more about who they are as a person. Um, his discussion or talking about like losing his job, the skirt line.
Mhm.
Um, I did say he's more level headed, but he still keeps his foot on Jet's neck. So we need that with good reason. So I just said I wonder what caused the 180 turn in Mother, like to go from being like such a hateful bitch to kind of being like just really laid back. Just
I'm sorry. You know that thing people do and they like are trying to find what to say, and then they end up saying something way worse than you thought they were gonna say. It's like, oh, oh my
yeah,
god.
but
Yeah,
yeah, they started
yeah,
off the
yeah.
season kind of doing a lot, but they kind of won me over. Just kind
Hmm.
of not really being the voice of reason, but they're a lot. They are a lot more relaxed than they are when they start the season. So, like,
I can see that.
the sit down was kind of it was cute. It went from like what Jayla and Mother like have going on personally, talking about like losing their jobs, and then you know traditional chasing fashion is gonna go from what we got going on to the drama. So they
Right.
instantly Mother and Jayla start talking about the beef between Jet and Donnie. And I said, I'm happy that everybody is starting to kind of warm up to Donnie. They see Donnie
Yeah.
isn't kind of like the menace that they thought he was going to be at the start of the season.
Hmm.
But I did key when Mother and Jayla started talking about Donnie and Jet's lyrical capacity. Like both of
Yeah.
y'all getting a booth. I was like, what is that? What is that giving? Very much Carisha versus Ice Spice. Like,
Ooh, yeah, something like that. Something like that
ooh,
for sure.
I just would not want to
Carisha,
be in the
who's
building for that.
Carisha and who's Ice Spice?
I feel like Jet would be Carisha.
Honestly, it's kind of giving Lotto versus Ice Spice, in my opinion.
Okay, does Lotto? What's her pen game like? Because I'm not really up on Lotto. Now I
Um,
know Carisha's
well, okay, yeah, I think
kind of.
Lotto is lyrically better than Ice Spice and Carisha,
Well,
but
they're saying that Jeff music is just slightly better. I'm sorry, they're saying that Donnie's music is slightly better
it's slightly better
than Jeff. So
than Jet. Yes,
it's Lotto.
yeah.
Donnie's also mulatto.
I'm telling you, the
That's
parallels are
that.
there.
Yeah, that's that.
Like,
That's that.
um, but
And I
yeah,
could be wrong, but I feel like Ice Spice also has like a light abuela stash. So
you know what? You were asking for it. You were just asking for it. You
Not
and
a
this
second
light
that.
stash.
I'm sorry. You know I'll go up for a light stash, but it's very yes. Mulatto versus Ice Spice. But
Being
my
light
bad.
skinned with a light stash is diabolical. When you don't want a mustache, because I'm pretty
Being
sure if
light
you do,
skinned,
it's
yes. With a mustache
terrible.
and willingly knowing that you have a mustache. Because I know you wash your face in the morning. And I know when you brush your teeth and the toothpaste be in your stash, I know that should be like, shout
You
out to my girl
know,
Miss Dale, wherever she at.
it
Shout
is
out
what
because
it is.
she started this trend. She
We
started my
support
obsession
all
with light
women.
stashes.
We
We
support all women
we do.
on this
But
good Pride Month. Like,
I
wear
go
your
up for a bad bitch
stash.
with a light stash.
Yes.
I go up for a
Oh
bad bitch
my
with a light
god.
stash.
Um, speaking of baddies, no stash. Spicy Original, thank you for being here. Good to see you. She said, "Hey,
Yes,
happy
thanks for being
Saturday,
here.
good people. Hey, good to see you too. Hope you're chill because it's hot. At least in Detroit and Chicago, it's hot as hell.
Baby.
So yeah, hopefully you're warm wherever, or you're chill wherever you are. But so Mother, yeah, does talk about they do end up talking about like losing their job again. We hear about that again. um and I mean, I like when people bring up things like throughout their life, like Rachel brought up like her therapist dying and like other people dying like multiple times. And I like how, we get kind of progression into like the things that they're going through in their life, I guess. But
Mhm.
he's still talking about losing his job. He said that he's worried that, I guess, people are gonna judge him for losing his job and people will have things to say. And how did you feel about that? Because to me, it's like, I get where you're coming from, Mother, but you have been one of those people that has been very judgmental towards others.
Mhm.
So to me, it's just like you can't be surprised or shocked that people are gonna want to judge you as well, because you've been pretty judgmental. So
I can agree
um
with that. But also in the same breath, like if you aren't funding me, why do you care about like what I got going on? If I lose my job and
yeah,
I'm not asking you to like support me, then but I guess it's just
right,
people just gonna talk. People are
right.
gonna talk regardless. But like you
Especially on a
said,
show like this.
very true. Very
Yeah,
true. But like you said, mother has been judgmental and kind of throwing daggers. So like you can't throw the rock and hide your hand and then not expect people to to do the same shit to you. So
right.
it's life.
Um,
Like motherfuckers lose their job and they get another. It's like I don't want to say a revolving door or like a rotating door, but that's crazy to kind of pass judgment on somebody that's like that lost their job. It's like out of their control. Now to be like
right.
just blissfully unemployed, just sitting on your ass, like that's one thing. But just to like recently lose your job and it's like, oh, like I'm on my ass right now. It's kind of in. I can understand that, but to talk shit about somebody that just like lost their job is that's crazy work. that's
Yeah, I
insane.
mean,
Like,
I wouldn't, but I feel like just the environment that he's in and the fact that he's been so opinionated about other
right.
people, I feel like it's not warranted, but I wouldn't be surprised if people like kind of key about it.
Hmm.
But I do like, I understand probably what it's like to, I mean, I can understand what it's like to lose your job in a space like this where they're having events and going out and trying to put money into their art. And it's like you lost your main source of income. So it's like now you got to pull back, you know?
Hmm.
So, I mean, I thought it was real. I think it's, nice that he was honest about it. Um, I think Jayla was a great person to speak about this with because she just seems very like not really judgmental in that way. Like she seems like she'll just try to uplift you and not, you know, kick you while you down or whatever, or be shady or
Yeah, she
whatever.
seems really supportive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I did think the rap beef thing was hilarious. Talking about how neither one of them their bars at the same level, and he's like, well, what do I know? I only like Beyonce. And I said, period, period. Because
Yeah,
Beyonce is the queen of rap. So come on now.
Queen of Rap.
Queen of rap. As
Queen
per
of Rap.
Trina. per Trina, Beyonce is the queen of rap. So
Perfect. Trina Laverne.
um
Hmm.
yes. So but yeah, I thought the scene was cool. How did you feel about Jayla's cultural, I guess she kind of gives her take on Jet Jeff and the cultural appropriation allegations. I'll just say, like, I personally still don't really think that he's culturally appropriating. I feel like he just so happens to be a rapper, which is obviously like hip hop, like something that was made by black people
Right.
mostly. But I don't think I think he just raps. Like, I don't think he oversteps, you know. I don't think he claims black culture. I don't think he tries to put on a black aesthetic. I feel like he's just himself and he likes to rap, you know.
I said the same thing. I don't see him trying to take any aesthetics from like black people or black women, and I just think he's
Yeah.
just a Spanish rapper. Like I agree
Hmm.
with everything that you said. Um, so yeah, I don't know where Jayla pulled that from. Maybe it's
Yeah.
something that maybe does like off camera that she sees that we don't see or some shit. I
Maybe,
don't know.
maybe. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Just how they won't even say Seven Deep's name on the show anymore. Like, I feel like it's very odd, especially since he's been on the show. He was a cast member, a main cast member.
Mhm.
So like even later in the episode when Donnie was like talking about basically that situation with Seven Deep and Judge Jeff, and he's like, "We're not even gonna name names," and I'm just like, "Oh, you can't say his name on here? Y'all got his name bleeped out? What's going on?" Like,
My
I just thought it
goodness.
was interesting, but I also want to say shout out to Ashley Monet. Thank you for being in the building.
Yes,
Good
thank you
to
for
see you,
being here.
girl. Hope you're staying cool on this good Saturday because it's like I said, it's hot here.
Scorching, yes.
Um, but yeah, yeah, I just said that he doesn't really give cultural appropriation to me. I feel like he just stays in his lane. I think he's shady, but I don't think. I think if you don't like him being shady, that's something different from him profiting off of a culture that he doesn't like. Like, I feel
Right.
like, yeah, I don't know, but did you have anything else to say about this scene, or should we move on? And definitely
Yes, we
feel
can.
free to put in the chat how y'all feel about the things we talk about. A lot of stuff
Ooh.
happens, so we're definitely down to clown on this episode, especially some
So
topics
yes,
that come up. Whew.
okay. So one of the next topics that I kind of wanted to talk about. So the next scene, Rachel and her daughter. I
Mhm.
think she said her daughter's name was Minnie. I forgot the daughter's name. Anywho, the daughter
Oh,
was
me
in a
too.
was in a cut sounding like Mama Jones. Yeah, I really agree with
She
you,
was
Chrissy. Yanni should just be a manager. And you know what's
first
so
of
funny?
all,
I was watching the episode and I kind of like started it like my mind drifted somewhere else and I heard her speak and I was like, what the fuck Nancy Jones doing on Chasing Dollars? Baby, and this
wait,
Rachel's daughter.
I kind of lived for her though. First of all, she
I
walked
did
in
too.
chewing that gum hard as hell,
Hard as hell with the
and
side part. I'm
yes.
also sorry, but when Rachel kind of started telling her story, she was looking at Rachel like, I'm like, she was going off the edible. Now I ain't trying to spoil your team's mamas, but she was going off the edible.
Mama was going off a bean. But yeah,
Listen, yes, this whole
I'm
scene
screaming.
was cute because I love Rachel. Go up for Rachel. I think Rachel is gorgeous. Love her skin, her
Yes,
face.
yes.
But
Mhm.
Cra- I'm sorry, I almost called her Chrissy.
Did you
Chrissy,
expect
go
for
over there.
her? Wait, did you expect for her to be making like the lip glosses in her kitchen on some kitchen
I did not.
skincare type shit?
That caught me off guard. 'Cause I was like, what are you mixing? I'm like, oh, she's putting them in the. But I'm
It
like, we
was
all got to start somewhere. We
yes.
we all have to
I
start
thought she
somewhere.
was gonna put it in to be made, kind of like Ted Lee and his wipes. But I guess that's probably not an option no more because of the tariffs and like all of the money you would have to pay to
Yeah.
get it shipped, or yeah, to get it shipped back to America. But it was sending me how she was mixing that little bowl, and I'm like, is she mixing the colors or is she doing a sample size? I didn't know what was going on, but I was here for the ride. I was here for the ride.
Same
I
here.
was
Like I
living.
thought that she was making like test kits or something like sample kits, but no, I
Right,
think it's
right.
the actual product that she's like. Because she said all she has to do is like get labels, and she's ready to like. She said on Juneteenth, which was 2 days ago. So I meant to go to her
Hmm.
Instagram to see if she like dropped her product or her lip care line. I haven't got around to doing that yet. But shout out to Rachel B, Mother
Hmm.
Active. But she also mentioned Rachel mentioned that she had lost or left her job. I'm sorry, I'm talking too fast.
Hmm.
She mentioned that she had left her job due to like hostile work environment. And I was like, ooh, so I wonder if that environment came from like Rachel being like a trans woman, or if that's an environment
I
that she
thought about that
created because
too.
she's from New York.
Right.
So
I mean, that's a
Rachel,
good
if you ever watch
question.
this, let me know.
That's a good
I kind of
question.
feel like it's her being trans and it's Texas. asshole, whatever.
That's
But I
true.
kind of feel like that's why she left her job, and rightfully so. Like, why would you want to be at a job where you aren't respected? It's
Right.
draining. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't want to go on a rant, but I was having a conversation with my supervisor. Like, this is when I like just like just transferred departments or whatever. But he was
Hmm.
like, I come to work and it's like kind of chaotic, and I have to deal with a lot, and then I have to go home, my personal life, and deal with a lot. So I was like, fuck, I can't imagine like going to work for 8 hours and dealing with nothing but chaos and bullshit
Yeah.
and just a bunch of an unorganized mess, and then having to go home and like have to. So I was just like, yeah, Rachel, rightfully so. I'm glad that she got out of there. Plus, she was going through a lot. It was like people around her were just kind of just dying, just like dropping left and right. So I'm glad that she was able to get out of that workspace and kind of just go back to New York and kind of find herself. But I did want to ask you,
Right.
audience and my co-host, like when y'all are dealing with like emotions, or I don't even want to say like depression, just stress. When you're
Yeah.
stressed out, when you're like over exhausted, like how do y'all deal with like that stress or those emotions? Like, do y'all have any like outlets? Rachel says she doesn't like talking to people because she feels like the person will be an empathy, will em- empathize with her and start crying, and she doesn't want them to start crying because like you can't help me if they're
Right.
crying. Which is like, not really. You never know if how many people like share a similar story with you, so you could just open up to somebody and then, oh, like, oh my gosh, like I've been through
Now
this.
y'all combined. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
or
get
I'm
that.
going through this same situation, so like we could kind of work through this or navigate through this situation together. So like, how do y'all feel about, I guess, opening up to people and just dealing with emotions and stress? Like, what are y'all outlets? I guess me personally, I lack empathy. I tell everybody this. I lack empathy. Unless I like really, really, really,
She's
really,
sociopathic.
just a little bit. We're not sociopathic. Redacted. Redacted. Not sociopathic. I just lack. I don't. I lack empathy. I'm not even gonna hold you. I'm not even gonna be. I'm not even gonna bullshit. I remember I
Mm.
had a boss who had just lost her husband, and she was like distraught, like going through it. And I would just remember I was talking, having a conversation with her, and in my head, I'm like,
Hmm.
nigga, where are your feelings? Like, she lost her
Hmm.
husband. Like, you're supposed to be, but yeah, I like him. So, um,
Hmm.
me when I go through shit,
Sometimes, do you have, just to go off of what you were just saying, like, because I feel like sometimes people have empathy, but they don't really know how to express it. Like, they don't know how to comfort somebody. Like, I feel bad for you is the static back.
no, it's not. The static
Oh,
isn't back. I was just thinking of, I'm sorry. I was
scared the shit
thinking
out of
of
me.
how to,
Um,
um, so it's not like I don't,
I think, yeah, I know
sometimes it's like I don't
for me, I
care.
feel like I sometimes, oh well, yeah, I guess that's like an empathy because I'm like I care, but I'm like I don't really know how to express it. But if you don't care, I don't know. I try to have empathy for people though, because like I know when I'm going through it, I want people to have some grace for me.
Right, right.
So I feel like but then going back to like what she had said, I get it because you don't want to burden people with your problems, and then you don't want to like I don't know. You don't want to burden people with your problems, but at the same time, I feel like telling people about your problems, it helps because you get a different perspective and then you get people that care about like what you're going through. Cause I feel like if you're going through a lot and you're not really talking to nobody about it, it can be very lonely. And you can get trapped in your own thoughts and your
Very
own,
much that.
negative things going on. But if you talk to someone else, they can give you a different perspective.
Very much that. Or you could kind of like start to self medicate. Like Rachel says, she doesn't like to deal
Right.
with her problems head on. She just likes to go out and party. And I'm like, I
Right.
get that, but girl, once you sober up, that issue is
Them
still
problems
there.
are
So
still there. Yeah.
yeah,
They're
so
gonna be
like,
maybe knocking like the rent is due. Like,
didn't mean to wake you. It's what it's giving. Okay.
definitely gonna give that. Oh my god.
Yeah, but
Um,
I was just like thinking like, yeah, like um it's always great, even though Rachel, I know a lot of people feel like it's, oh, like crying makes me weak, or opening up and talking about my feelings like makes me weak. Like,
yeah,
you never know, like literally.
and that's a
You
common thing for Black people, queer people too, women, Black
yes, very
women.
much
Like
that.
they feel like we have to be so strong and like we
Hmm.
can't. you know, express ourselves and be softer in certain, spaces because we don't want to get hurt even more.
Right.
So I feel for her
I-
though. I mean, I'm glad she has a family, like a gay family that she can rely on for sure. And then I feel like her daughter seems very supportive.
mhm.
Um but yeah, I thought it was a good scene. I laughed. Check out our Instagram. Follow us on Instagram at Key and Carrie. But I posted. They was talking about the lip colors, and she was like, "I want to name this pink." And then the daughter was like, "Pussy popping pink." She was like,
Gag.
"Yeah." I was like, "Yes, I live for this. I love this dynamic. I wish we saw more of her daughter because her daughter seems like a key."
Yes, because Rachel
Um,
needs somebody that can kind of like play off her energy and her
yeah,
mood. I feel like her daughter does that very well.
right. The daughter
So yeah,
was
this
hilarious.
the scene was like very cute. Again, I like to see the cast like working towards their goals and like living out
Hmm.
their ambition. So just you
Right.
shady as fuck for this, but seeing Rachel mix the lip balm or
The
the
way she was
lipstick
mixing that.
and like yeah, it was cute and like her kind of just explaining to her daughter like I got all these different flavors and I just got to get the
Mhm.
labels. Like bitch, I did this. So I'm so happy for like Rachel because I feel like for a lot of the cast members, like a lot of the season or half the season, was just like, I'm gonna do this or I'm doing this, I'm doing this, and
And
we
then it
haven't
don't come
like,
through.
yeah, didn't really
Yeah.
get to see it. So I really, I'm happy that we got to see Rachel, creating her lip care line or
Right.
starting her lip care line. So shout out to Mother Active, daughter. I forgot her daughter's name. I need that
Yes.
unit.
I wish, yeah.
I need that unit, and I need that bean that you pop, baby girl, cause
Yes,
I'm
because
trying
mom was
to. I'm trying to have a conversation with somebody and be like,
yes.
and
She
be on
said
Pluto, baby. Be on Pluto. Like,
Well, she said she had her best friend in her purse. I said, okay, not the
I was like,
shoddy.
that's oh, she was talking about shotty. Okay, because you know that could mean a couple of things. It could be
That
a
could
double
mean a couple
shot.
things.
It could be the blammy. It could be
Yep.
that.
Yep. It
Bzzz.
could be a lot of things.
Listen,
It could be a lot of things. I
but
just went straight
so
to shooter. Shooter, who was
what's
that?
what was that? You was a fool for that. You was a fool. So what is co-host audience? So since we're on this topic, what is the best friend that's in your bag? Like
Ooh, best friend in my bag. Honestly, best friend in my bag is hand sanitizer.
that's a good
Cause
one.
the
And I
city
need
is
some more
dirty as
hand sanitizer.
hell.
Yes, very
And
much that.
I just need to
Mine would be
yeah.
this, but it's hand sanitizer.
Okay,
Very much that.
the pen, period. Okay.
I
I
had
also want
hand
to highlight
sanitizer. Oh, I'm
oh, go
sorry. You
ahead.
highlight the comment.
No, go
Well, I was
ahead.
just gonna say I had hand sanitizer in my car. Why that shit
Mhm.
expired 2 years ago, and I just
Oh,
threw it out like a month ago. I look my.
I
I wonder if
mean,
this is any good. No,
alcohol, right?
so
So
true,
it
but I feel like
expires?
after a while, if you, I don't know, I just don't stagnate. It can it become stagnant, and then it just not be
Mhm.
effective, and just kind of like spreading around bacteria.
Probably. I mean, it has an expiration date for a reason, I guess. But also, best friend in my bag, probably some lip chat. Some good old lip chat. Gotta stay moist.
Or a stick of gum. Or a stick of
Or a
gum.
stick of gum. Yes, fresh breath. Ashley Monet said, art is my outlet. I also have self-care Sundays, and I'm big on taking myself out on dates. I will go out by myself and try new things. I like that. I like that. I agree, Ashley. Art is definitely a great outlet. I'm yeah, as a creative, I definitely identify with that. It's a good way to express yourself, get your feelings out without having to like literally say it verbally.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a great way to communicate those feelings to people and just in general. Um, and yeah, I like the idea of taking yourself out. I should probably do that more often. But
Yes. Love yourself before you love anybody else. Get to know yourself
no,
before you get to know
not,
somebody else.
now I don't love myself. Now I don't love myself.
You tell me,
Oh,
baby girl. Tell the audience what you did for your birthday. We ain't gonna backtrack. We're
you
not
know
gonna go
what?
back a month ago.
That's why you bringing up old shit. why
I'm
we talk
just
about
saying.
Ashley Monet. We talk
Do,
about
do
Ashley
we
Monet
need
and her
do we
great
need to go back to the
self-care
beginning of May
technique.
4th?
We don't. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, no, sir. But she also said gummies are her best friend in her bag. I love a
Period.
gummy. I love a gummy. I love a gummy. I love a bean. Um, but yeah, shout out to that. But yeah, I thought the
Okay.
scene was a key. Do we want to move on to the next
Yes.
situation, the next scene
So
in the park?
yes, moving on to the next scene. My favorite scene, Donnie and Jayla. I said this scene was cute. It was genuine. It was authentic. In my opinion, of all the sit downs that Donnie has had, I feel like he was the most relaxed during this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Just because him and Jayla, he and Jayla didn't have any like bad blood or like anything like that.
Yeah.
So doing sit
Jayla
down
is
with
kind of
Rachel,
becoming the Imani Van
very
Zant.
much that.
There we go.
And
Yeah.
I was kind of like on kind of the fence with like make it a teachable moment, but I kind of
Mm-hmm.
like how mature she is and
She
how she has like a different perspective. And it's like, well, if this person, I should have just left it. Anywho,
You already
I
know.
like you got me,
And it's
you
pride. It's
got me,
pride. And
you
it's
got
pride
me.
month, baby. I know
You
that's
got me. Anywho, yes, I like how she's becoming like the Imani Van Zap. Like, I was
mm-hmm.
kind of on the fence with like making everything like a teachable moment, but if that's
Yeah,
if that's her tea, then I
that's what she
absolutely
likes
love
to
that for
do.
her.
Yeah.
But so the sit down, not really the sit down. They meet up at the park, and this is one of the conversations where they started from A and went to Z. We found out so much about
Mm-hmm.
Donnie that I
So much. It
really
was
didn't
giving
even know.
interview,
Very much
honestly.
that.
Like,
It was very much that. And that's why I said this scene was just so authentic. It was organic. Just the conversation flowed. Nobody
mm-hmm.
was like, it was really like, I should have got to know this. I should have got to have known when I first got to met you. Like it's giving like I should have got to know you like when we first got to set or whatever. But so the
Right.
conversation starts. They get to talk about Donnie versus Jet, and we go back into the rapper, the versus battle, them being in a booth. And I was like, I'll live for that. I think we had this discussion on like a previous review where we talked about them using their craft to
Right.
duke it out. Like you don't have to physically fight if you're not gonna shade each other. Just get in a booth, let the craft speak for itself. So I guess
Right.
Donnie reached out to Jet for a versus 6 songs. My 6 songs. And I said I didn't even know Donnie had 6 songs. First of all, work bitch. I
Not sure.
said Donnie.
Didn't even know he had 6 songs.
No shade to Donnie,
You
but he said my 6 songs versus your 6 songs. I was like, that's gonna eat.
oh.
I guess Jet turned it down. I said, Jet, what are you on this platform for if you're not gonna chase Dallas or if you're not gonna be the musician, if you're not gonna be the top tier girl that you claim you are? Like,
Yeah.
what are you really doing with this Forever 21 ass music? Like,
I will
girl.
say the whole top tier thing, like I feel like if you're gonna say you're top tier, there are gonna be people that are going to challenge that. Like,
Hmm.
especially if there are other rappers on the show, like you're basically saying like you're the best. So like of course there are gonna be people that are like, oh, some people are gonna mind their business, but other people are gonna be like, oh, you think you the best? Like, I'm gonna show you that you're not the best. So I feel like he didn't want to give Donnie any attention, but it's like Donnie's on the show. And so
Right.
it's like, he's a part of the show. So it's like, I don't get why you're like, oh, I don't want to interact with him. You
Very
rather
much
bully
that.
Ted Lee, I guess.
And Donnie
Um,
even said that.
you're
Like,
like,
when the aggression is given towards fucking when the shade is given towards Jet Jet and he can handle like i.e. Keyshawn, when
yeah,
Keyshawn and Jet Jet is in a scene together, Jet moves completely different versus when he's in the scene with Ted Lee.
yeah.
Jet becomes Keyshawn in the scene with Ted Lee. But
T.
like Donnie
And he
basically
even
said the same
got,
thing.
I feel like he even got, well, it's not his fault because they're grown men who act on their own. But I feel like Rio and even Zesty started to kind of bully Ted Lee. Like, I feel like they picked up what the dynamics between Jet Jeff and Ted Lee. And they also, because like back at the Valentine's Day party, they were like throwing weird subs towards Ted Lee, saying like, oh, I didn't like you at first. And like, oh, this and that. So it was just kind of like, what's y'all beef with him? Is it because
Very much.
y'all
I
see
forgot
him?
about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Zesty said Ted Lee sent the drink back and he didn't. I'm like, if my drink is horrible,
How
I'm
is
not
that
gonna drink it.
personal? Oh, yeah,
Yeah, like
I don't get
anywho,
it. Um, can I also just
so
say, hey to Tracy
yes.
Campbell, thank you for being
Yeah,
here.
shout out to everybody that's
Um,
in the chat. Yeah, shout out to
yes,
everybody that's here.
definitely give us y'all opinions. We will, of course, highlight them because we want to know how y'all think about this show and what y'all think about this season
Yes.
and the episode. But yes, sorry, continue.
So no, you're fine. So as the scene progresses, we get to learn a little bit more about Donnie. So Donnie said he started rapping when he was 10. Was still in the
Mhm.
notepads from his white mama to write raps in. And I said, this is so Drake coded.
Why you gotta bring up
I
the
listen, you know how I am, baby. I was watching this at like 4 o'clock this morning, and I had to replay the scene like 4 times. I said, this is so Drake coded. I said, not
I
you
can't.
stealing the notepad from your white mama to go write rhymes. And I said, I live for
Go
Donnie.
right
I live for
rhymes.
Donnie.
Yes.
Then Donnie ends up in a relationship with a dude who was also like a rapper. I guess the guy kind of pushed rapping on him. Donnie
Mhm.
kind of got a little buzz, and then Homeboy became jealous. I said, "Ooh,
It be like
now what
that
is this
sometimes.
giving? Is this is this is this Drake and Kendrick? Is this
Oh.
Nas and Jay Z? Is
Oh.
this Game and 50 Cent? Let me know. This is pretty
You
much
know
Game and 50
what?
Cent.
I could see that. I could
Two
see
Patty
that.
Bottoms.
And where does Soldier Boy come into that equation?
So Soulja Boy's an abuser, but he has like a 6 leg. So that's where he's at with that.
Okay.
He's
I
an
meant
abuser,
in
but he has
relation
like a
to 50 Cent in the game because I feel like there was a whole situation there. But
he was
I guess that's
was
yet to be
he was the
determined.
6 leg. He was the 6 leg. How fucking low?
Not the
Listen,
six legs. I can't.
listen.
Well, I
Um,
speaking of six legs, there I feel like it must be really nice in Atlanta when they were shooting this season because I feel like there are so many outside scenes. I don't know if it's summer.
Soup
Summer might be too
Palace.
hot in Atlanta. So I would assume maybe spring, maybe or fall, like a more like lighter season, I
I'm
guess.
gonna say spring because this was like I'm gonna say maybe like a month after the Valentine's Day.
Right.
Event.
Okay. It just seems so nice and like all of
Mhm.
these, like a lot of scenes were outside, but I said, baby, they met up in a park, and you already know what I thought.
I love it when we're cruising together.
Baby, I said they showed up to the park to cruise. Okay. Like
Not you and your heathen mom, baby. Goodness. Remember we saw that
cruising in
hetero
the park.
couple? Was that Chicago that was over in that park cruising?
They
It
were. They
was,
were.
because that's what.
They were around something crazy. And I was like, it's at night too. I'm like, oh, okay.
On that yeah, pure boy shit. You should
Like,
have checked her shoes. If she had on some wedges, she was
we
up
already
to
know
no
what
good.
time it is.
She was up to no good.
Um,
But
I also like Jayla's fit this scene. I wish I clipped
mhm,
out stills. I will next episode, but yeah, she had
they
on
were
like a head wrap,
mhm.
and then she does a little bendy thing, the little jewelry in between her forehead, or yeah, in between her eyebrows or whatever. But yeah, it was given very early 2000s, maybe a little Erica Badu, a little
Indy Ari.
India.
Yeah, very
Yes,
much
I was
that.
like, okay, I was living. I thought it was cute. Yeah, like I said, it gave interview because I feel like we didn't really learn that much about Jayla, but we learned a lot about Donnie and just his upbringing.
Mhm.
His upbringing. He said his mother was white and his father was black. I said he's biracial. I said we learned about him being biracial one more time, but
Right.
it kind of made sense though because I guess he did tell us that like his mom, I guess his mom's side of the family disowned her, and so he never really got in touch with that side because obviously she had a baby by a black man and maybe some other stuff. I don't know. Um,
Goodness.
but he also mentioned that she had drug dependency and had a history
Mhm.
of drugs, and that kind of affected him growing up. So I don't know, I feel like it did make him more endearing. I mean, people already love him, but yeah, I don't know, I think he's a well-rounded person. Like I wasn't expecting that in the very beginning because like it was just like, oh bitch, I'm gonna crash this party and like
Right.
you talking shit, but like I feel like he found his like momentum and he just seems like a genuine person, like a real person as far as I can tell. So shout out to him for being, an open book, I guess you could say, on this show.
Mhm.
Um
Donnie and Chloe, because I
yeah,
let them
Donnie
both
and
have their
Chloe.
thing, like
Yes.
very
Yes.
transparent. But
I said the the beef between Jet Jeff and Donnie is so silly, but it's honestly the entertaining part. I mean, I feel like it's the best part of the season because like we wouldn't have gotten Donnie, I guess, if that wasn't the case.
true,
But yeah, the
because
back and
Donnie was
forth
going off in
is
that part. I'm like, calm
he
down,
was.
baby.
He was. I said, yeah. And he got that he's skinny as hell. So it's like when he he flip out, it's like, calm down. Like getting worked up for
Right, baby, over there rattling them bones. I said, my
right?
goodness.
Shaking them bones, baby. Them chicken bones, okay? Like, Oh my god. I
Amen.
just think back to him crashing out at Jet Jeff's event in the beginning of the season and the way he was shaking. I was like, you look like you just it's just Bones. This is Bones, Sydney. Like very, very that.
Which
Very
is
that.
crazy because I thought Donnie's storyline was gonna be Jet. Like I thought this whole season he was gonna be obsessed with
He's
Jet,
gonna be
but
Jed, but no,
he
it's the other
got
way
to sit
around.
down with Jet. Yeah, and Kiki came on and he did what the fuck needed to be done. He did what he was supposed to do. Like Donnie's
Yeah.
like the epitome of like chasing down. If I could, Donnie with all of his crazy eccentricness, his work ethic, I would love to have seen Donnie on season 3. I feel like he would have just fit in just
I could see that.
I feel like
I
at
could see that.
first his abrasiveness would have rubbed people the wrong way. Definitely would have
For
rubbed people
sure.
the wrong way. But I feel
For
like over
sure.
time he would have basically been like the same Donnie this season. I'm sorry for my fuck
Mhm.
ups, like, but I feel like Donnie would have fit in on like season 3. He would have blended, especially like if Ariel had like warmed up to him and kind of like took him
Yeah,
under her
I could see
wing, or
that.
like Dior, Donnie would have like
I
yeah,
do feel like they would have hated him at first. They
yeah,
would
at
have
first, most
hated
yes,
him,
definitely
but
Dior,
yeah, but I
definitely
think in the
Dior.
beginning they would have hated him, but then like they would have been like, okay, like we kind of see where you're
Hmm.
coming from. You're kind of a key. You're fun. Like I feel like if he had came in like fun and just like kind of irreverent and kooky, I feel like they would have liked him.
Hmm.
So
But I'm
I don't
so
know.
glad that everybody is like starting to warm up to not everybody, but I'm glad that the
Hmm.
main characters, the people that I like, the characters that I like this season, I'm glad that
Are
they're
starting
starting
to
to
warm
warm
up to
up to
him.
Donnie. Yeah,
Yeah.
starting to embrace him.
Um. I said we really just got his life story, and he's an open book. Um. I said Jet Jeff is messy though, because they did talk about how Jet Jeff loves to throw the rock and hide his hand. I feel like I feel like you have to be careful with who, like, what you, I guess, how you present yourself when it comes to being shady, because it's like some people can take it in like a fun shade way, but I feel like Jet Jeff, maybe because to me his shade isn't necessarily funny or like it's not really a key. It's just him stating stuff that he feels, and it just kind of gives
Hmm.
like, oh, like mean. Like if I tell you something, like if I word it a certain way, like I feel like it might have a different outcome, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know how to word it, but like I feel like his shade isn't really like that entertaining or that much of a key. So they just kind of take it as offense because, you know, it's rude,
Yeah,
I
that's basically
guess.
what it is. Jed doesn't know how to read or be shady, so he'll
Yeah.
throw insults as shade or
Yeah.
read. But yeah, it's just him being a hateful, spiteful, nasty bitch with a
Yep.
light stash. With the
And
lightest stash,
these
baby.
people, that's another thing. It's like you don't really know these people to really be shading them like that. So
That's
it's
the
just kind
big.
of like,
That's the miscombobulation.
yes.
Of all these goddamn
Miscommunication.
web series. Like everybody comes on
Hmm.
being shady, not knowing these people, and then when they be like, when somebody gets upset or offended, it's like, oh, I was just joking, I was being shady. It's like, bitch, I don't know you. Like,
Right.
how you gonna come in shading a stranger? Like, what type of shit is you on? Like, that's weird as fuck. So, yeah, I
Hmm.
agree. Like, I'm glad that people are starting to realize that Jet is not the girl that he thinks he is. And I'm sorry, because this is not a Jet hate train, but
Not
like
that girl.
he's walking around like you that girl when you're not that girl. No shade. Charlie Exile, shout out to Charlie Exile. But yeah,
Yes.
Jet really is not the main character that he thinks he is. And I'm so mad that production kind of made him like the focal point of like the
This
circle. Cause
season.
honestly, yeah, his this season, the circle, because his personality really isn't can't carry like a friend group. He's not that interesting.
Yeah, I think it's because he works. Like we see his work,
Oh,
we see
work ethic.
his yeah, which I can commend, but I do think from like a personality standpoint, it's not as entertaining, or
Yeah.
it's not giving as much. But I can see
Production
why
should
they.
have forced his ass to do that versus battle. That's what they should have did.
I mean, they could have. They definitely could have. Yeah, the versus
No.
back. You know what? Donnie should have showed up to one of Jet Jeff's events, like the Clovers did on Bring It On. Remember they showed up and they had
And
that cheer off.
had that
Well, I
sheriff
mean, it
had the
wasn't even a cheer off
audience
because they had the
that
same choreography or whatever. But he should have pulled something like that for sure.
very much that.
Um,
Very
I
much
wanted
that.
to highlight a
Or production should have put a Jet on stage and shot at his feet, made him tap dance.
my goodness.
Dance for me, Maestro. Dance for
You
us.
know, after what Megan went through, I'm a little PTSD
Yes,
to
very much that. I'm sorry.
making
Very much
people
that.
dance through gunshots. Jesus. Ashley Monet said, I really enjoy Jayla. She brings some balance and I love her perspective on things. Yeah, she's definitely giving positive energy. At first, I thought it was a little fake because I feel like every situation she was like in the bag being positive, and I was like, okay. But I kind of live for it now because I do feel like she's genuine with it. Like I feel like she does want to uplift people and pour into people. I like that. Um she also said, I feel like Jayla's energy makes people feel comfortable to open up, and we end up learning more about the cast through their conversations with Jayla. True. I agree. I definitely agree. She's doing the job of like a host,
Very
essentially.
much that, because her sit
Like,
down with well, not even her sit down when Jayla did Rachel's makeup, like that
mm-hmm,
was kind of almost like an interview,
right,
A to Z, and then the same thing with Chloe was like kind of like A to Z, and I think the
right.
same thing with Zesty earlier in the season where she was like,
Mm-hmm,
"But you need to calm down," and Zesty kind of gave us upbringing about Bakersville, California. So yeah, Jayla
mm-hmm.
is now. How do y'all feel about that? Because me personally, if I'm just meeting somebody, no, we not, baby. Troy, I work here, and my favorite color is black. You get my upbringing and what I've been through. Is there money on the floor? Baby, you about to pay one of
Not is
these
there money on the
bills?
floor.
Other
I'm
than
dead.
that, then no, I'm not about to open up and give somebody like the rundown on me for
I
what,
can see
baby.
that, but I think she makes it comfortable. Like she makes them comfortable enough to open up, you know.
Shout out to them, because the bitch will
Yeah.
never get me that open. What Daylight say? He'd get Diddy
Okay,
open with
Patrick
some Ciroc.
Bateman from American Psycho, child.
Goodness, the bitch will
Lacking
never
empathy and
get
ain't telling nobody shit. My goodness. Let me find out you let me turn on the news and find out you on the run on some Gone Girl shit. Shit. Let
My
me find out.
goodness. I'm
Let
just
me
saying the bitch
find
ain't gonna
out.
never give me that. Give me that
Like
loose.
say ain't gonna
Goodness.
never let me
Give me
catch
that
never catch
open.
me slipping.
Never.
Period.
Never. Goodness.
Speaking of getting caught slipping, do we want to go to the next scene? Because this scene was
Yeah,
real
this scene was
interesting.
interesting. Baby, this scene had a little bit of taxi cab confessions, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
Coco Dorm.
A little why not buy, a little
Um
Zane. Yeah.
very full spectrum
Mm-hmm.
across sexualities,
Mm-hmm.
um
Gender.
literature,
Yes.
gender,
Yes.
drinks, baby, because they was walking down the street with them buzzballs. And I said, I'm pretty sure that's open container. So y'all might want
True.
to turn y'all black asses around before them boys pull up. But anywho, Uncle Lamar and Auntie Lisa. Let me
Mm-hmm.
just first say I'm living for Auntie Lisa,
Yes.
Lamar's girlfriend.
Not.
Um, she just gets Auntie vibes. I'm sorry, she probably
She
my
does
age,
give auntie vibes.
but
She
something about
kind of
her is
gives
just get.
older cousin vibes. Auntie
She
slash
does.
young auntie, older cousin vibes. Yes.
Very down to earth. She seems like a really great listener. There
Mm-hmm.
were some kind of red flags during this conversation, I was like, but she just
Ooh,
does seem
okay.
like a really good listener. So,
Yes.
Lamont and his this scene, baby, it was just so much to process. So Lamont has the girl in a devil's threesome, and I said, "Is this how you want to introduce your girl to this lifestyle? What's your claim to this lifestyle, this culture? This is,
No,
are you
that is a
sure
lifestyle.
that
That is a lifestyle.
listen?" I said, "This devil's threesome. This is really how you want to introduce your lady sis?" So Lamont
Yeah.
said, he felt like, first of all, let's talk about the dude that Lamont brought in, his homeboy,
Mm-hmm.
his bottom bitch. Why would you bring your bottom bitch into a threesome with your girl? Like, let's talk about that, Lamont.
She said, "Bring your baddest bitch out. I want to see him. Bring your baddest bitch out. Let's do this.
Show me your baddest bitch. That's what
Show
it's
me your
giving.
baddest bitch."
Yes. So, I just wanted to y'all opinion, co-host, audience. Shout out to people
Can
that
I
are
just
here. Shout out to the people that are
yes,
gonna
yes,
watch on the
yes.
playback. Yes. Do what you
Can
gotta
I
do.
just say that I definitely feel like because you know how sometimes people will have a conversation off camera and then they decide to bring it to the camera. I kind of feel like he caught her off guard with this. And I mean, she kind of said it in the scene, but like just her reaction when he brought it up, it looked like she was looking at the producer, then she was kind of looking at the camera. I was just like, oh, she might not have known this was gonna happen, which normally, like, I find it interesting to get like a raw reaction,
Mm-hmm.
in a scene. But I was like, ooh, maybe
Mm-hmm.
you should have brought this up, or at least say like, hey, I want to talk about this in our next scene. We have a scene on this day. I plan to talk about this, But I think for him to bring it up, I don't know
That's
if
an
she didn't know
interesting
about
point.
it. But yeah, I just feel like her reaction was given like, oh, like I was not expecting to have this in-depth personal relationship conversation on camera right now. But I mean, I guess
That's
that's the
a
show. But
really, really good point because a lot of the shows that we watch or the scenes that we see, I feel like the conversations are kind of head off camera, and then
mhm,
they come on camera and they kind of repeat.
what happened?
Like so we
Yeah.
yeah, so we don't get that shock factor like we
Mhm,
saw Lisa with. So like that's an excellent point that you brought up. So yeah, he
mhm,
laid it on her like Lamont laid it on Lisa like are you happy with my relationship? Are you happy with our relationship? Are you happy with me being a are you happy dating a bisexual man? I feel like the
mhm.
girls is that
A
you
bisexual.
knowing that the angle's a big business and basically kind of picking on her because she's dating a bisexual guy. So
Mhm.
I personally don't think that if this is the case, I personally don't think that her friends are like picking on her because she's dating a bisexual guy. I think the issue is, in Lamont words, baby, I didn't want you to be promiscuous for my lifestyle. I feel like that's what the problem is. Homegirl is
I
probably
mean, I
making some
mean,
adjustments
I
because
mean,
she did say that she was with it, but I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like this was not her lifestyle before she met Lamont.
yeah.
She said like this is just supposed to be kicking it. They caught feelings. Now she now she a devil's threesomes. Like I
I'm
feel
also
like that's where her
wondering.
girls is coming. I feel like that's where her friend her that's where the her girls is like in her
Yeah,
ear at.
yeah. I could see that because I mean, I know some people might think it goes hand in hand, but I feel like being like bisexual is different from being like open in terms of like polyamory and like stuff like that. Like you could be bi and just be with your like monogamous partner. Like, but I feel like sometimes like bisexual people, they want to explore other things. They don't want to just be confined to one gender or one, person.
Relationship.
Yeah, so they open it up. I feel like she was open to it, but at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of communication you have to go through. There's a lot of like checking in that you have to go through. There's a lot of like just preparation because that's a lot going on. You add in somebody, you're adding more energy into your relationship that you can't control. Like
Hmm.
adding another person in, whether it's for a night or it's a relationship, that's gonna change the dynamics of y'all relationship. So um
So how do
I
you
thought it
feel
was an
about
interesting
polygamy?
convo.
How do you feel
Oh,
about are you I know you're a monogamous type of nigga. So am I.
yes, yes,
Maybe in
yes.
like my mid 20s, early 30s, I probably would have did like polygamy because I would love to have two dads.
Oh,
Um,
two zaddies.
two daddies. I would love to have two dads. So this is also my tea. Anywho, audience,
Wait. Speaking
audience.
of audience, I just want to highlight G Baby Who Baby. Thank you for being here. Good to
Yes,
see
thank you for being
you.
here.
Yes, yes. Love to see you. Late to the party, but you here. You into the
But I'm
most
here,
interesting thing.
bitch.
The most interesting thing,
Yes.
bisexuality. Let's talk about it. Let's
You
talk
ain't
about it. But
shit. You are
Tracy,
so irritating.
I feel like she is more open to it than dating him specifically. Yeah, I feel like she's open to it, but I feel like there's just kinks you have to work out. Like I
Hmm.
personally am not gonna choose my best friend, my friend, to join us in our relationship. That just seems
Hmm.
like it's too close. That's your
Hmm.
best friend. Y'all didn't had, and then you're trying to bring it. Like I just feel like it's too close for comfort. I don't know the extent to the conversation that they had before they decided to do it, but I feel like that would be a long conversation because it's just like so many things can go wrong. Like
Listen, we seen that movie Three Way. The girl
we
Isis
did,
with Nutty
we
Boo.
did, we did. Yes, we did.
So
Also, I feel like this is what that movie Temptation, that Tyler Perry movie. I feel like that's what this movie, or this is what that movie could have been about. because she was torn between two men, and I just feel like the men should have, you know, connected, and then
Should have merged, made it
yeah,
one lane.
yes, yes, yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
I ain't
and
mad at
nobody has
that.
to get. Never mind. But yeah, I feel like that's what the movie
I
should have
ain't
been.
mad at
But
that, baby.
again, I think it was an interesting conversation just speaking on black men and bisexuality. Of course, like when people talk about bisexuality, they usually are talking about women, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, men don't really get. I feel like there are a lot of people that don't even think bisexuality in men exists. They're just like, oh, you're just
Like
gay.
Keith Powers. Remember he
Well,
had made that dumbass comment like, "Oh, I don't
did
believe
he
in
say that?
bisexuality." He did. You're either straight or gay.
That's so
He
random. Why would he even be talking about that?
I don't know if the interview. I don't know. Can't remember what the interviewer asked him, but
Uh
I
huh.
remember his response being, "I don't believe in bi." Maybe his opinions, his views have changed, but
Mm-hmm.
back then he said he didn't believe in bisexuality, either straight or gay. I can't remember if he was
Very
just
random
talking
of
about
him.
in whole or if he was just talking about men or here talking about women. But yeah, he made that comment. He made that
Interesting.
comment.
Well, I will say, I feel like Lamont was projecting a little bit in this convo just because some of the things he was saying, like it wasn't necessarily problematic, but it was kind of it was informing me on like how he sees himself and how he sees himself within the gay community. Because he was asking his girlfriend, like, how do you feel about dating a bisexual man? Am I man enough for you? Which I get, like, you want to be, you want to be validated by your partner. But then when they talked about Rachel, which we'll get more into, but just this specific part talking about Rachel, it was like, oh, I'm a man, she's a woman, we're like a gay family, like I'm like her gay husband. And then he said something about like, I honestly don't think he really meant anything by it, but he said like, oh, like I'm the only man here, like I'm the only man on the show, so of course she's gonna
I
gravitate
caught
towards
that.
me. And then I
I
was
caught
like, well, you're actually not the only man on the
I caught
show.
that.
I mean, you're
I
mass
caught that.
presenting, that's cool, but like you're not the only man. There are
I caught
tons of
that.
men on the show. The show is mostly men. But I just thought that was interesting, him seeing himself as almost like a real man, I guess you could say, compared to the other
The rest
people.
of the
But
cast
then
members, the rest of the cast members are real
yeah,
men.
but then you're asking your girlfriend, am I man enough for you? So it's almost like he's sandwiched between, he's not straight, he's not a straight man. So like of course he doesn't feel manly in that way, but he's not femme
Which is so
presenting. So
interesting
yeah. So it's like he doesn't,
because
you know.
yeah, I guess the girlfriends are like, oh, like he's not man enough for you because he's bisexual, but he's around a bunch of, I guess, feminine men, and
Mhm.
he feels like being around a bunch of feminine men makes him, I guess, straight presenting. I guess makes him feel more masculine.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like you should just be you regardless. Like I
That's
don't
that.
know. I don't know.
Somebody else had this homeboy from Chasing Orlando. The dad, two kids, Poppy, the chef. What was his name?
Oh,
Pablo. Pablo.
Pablo. Yeah, yeah.
No, no shade because Pablo has kids, and I feel like he is a great father. But he made a
Mhm.
comment on the show or that franchise where I was like, I feel like no shade. He had kids because of his sexuality. People
Mm.
were probably like, oh, like he's bisexual, but people being narrow minded, like, oh, you gay, you gay.
Yeah.
So like, oh, like I'm gay. Let me
Yeah.
go show like so not saying like that's the case, but that's just how my mind interpreted his story. So I feel like um Lamont is in this same boat where I'm around a bunch of like feminine gay men, so that makes me appear more dominant, more masculine.
Mhm.
But outside of this
Also,
circle, like that's not really the case because people just judge me based on my sexuality.
right. Right. That's what I was trying to say. Yes. Basically that. But like I also feel like him being with like a woman, like I feel like that also changes the dynamic. You're in like a
Hmm.
heterosexual relationship, even though he's bisexual. It's just it's a
Bisexual.
lot going on with
It
that.
is.
But G baby who baby said there was some gaslighting going on. And I could kind of see that. I could kind of see that. I do like how he was kind of like trying to check in with her. Like, I don't want you to be out here doing things that, I
You are
guess
comfortable with.
every time you have sex with somebody, you're jeopardizing your health, or you're kind of, opening yourself up to something. But like, he's like, I don't want you to be out here jeopardizing your health and you're not, benefiting from it. You're just kind of doing it because I want it. And I feel like that's kind of a nice thing to say, especially like when you have like women that like mess with other women because their boyfriend or their husband likes it. And they don't really like love it, but it's like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna do it because it makes my man happy. So I like how he's kind of checking in and like being like, do you really like this? Is this something you really want to do, or is it just something that, you know, you like it because it's pleasing me kind of thing?
I'll be right back, dang man.
So, okay. Um, but yeah, I can definitely see the gaslight, especially when it came to Rachel, just because it just seemed like um, a lot of talking in circles when it came to that. But Tracy Chapel said some people think of bisexuality and think they can't be faithful. He wants his cake and eat it too. And Lemon Pepper is living into toxic stereotype. Yeah, I mean, I know that's definitely a stereotype for bisexual people. They want it all. They want a man, they want a woman, they want both. I'm sure there are some that can be monogamous. And I mean, their suggestion, I guess, is polyamory. They want to open themselves up, but when you open yourself up, you open yourself up to like all other people. So that can cause issues as well. But um I don't know. I don't know if they're a match. It seems like his girlfriend wants to be more so monogamous. And he kind of wants to explore, but I just think they need to be careful who they choose to explore with, because you don't want to you don't want to get too close to home. So shout out to Mother in the building. You haven't missed too much. We just talking about Lamont and his partner. Um the whole bisexual man conversation, which is kind of a popular conversation right now. I know a lot of people talk about like bisexual men and like cis straight women not wanting to date bisexual men. I've heard some gay men not wanting to date bisexual men either, which I don't get. I'm always just like, you fine. I mean, it depends on the
Very
person, I guess.
true. Very true.
So, um,
Remember, I am Zoe made that comment where he said he would
mhm,
rather date he doesn't want to date a guy who's openly gay. He would rather go for a straight dude,
yeah,
which is kind of like,
yeah,
oh, you kind of have this, I guess, mindset that all gay men are like him, I guess, feminine.
yeah,
So he would rather go for
yeah,
somebody that's more mass presenting.
yeah. And I know some gays can
Okay.
be kind of like heteronormative, which makes sense because we grew up in that hetero society. So it's just like when you grow up, you're like, okay, like there's a man and a woman, there's a feminine energy and there's a masculine energy. And I feel like if you're gay and you feel like you already have that feminine energy, what I'm gonna do with another, like I need the masculine energy then. And I feel like that's why they tend to go for like masculine presenting straight men, that and an array of other things too. But I feel like that's part of why they go for that. But um I also just wanted to I wanted to talk about Lamont because he opened up in this scene, of course, talking about his, relationship and his sexuality and like kind of his insecurity. So shout out to him. But I just thought it was hilarious how they're talking about how, who their next conquest is gonna be, who's next up in the chair, essentially. Who's gonna partake next. He told her that she should choose. She's gonna do the choosing, and he's gonna do the bending, if you know what I
My
mean.
goodness.
Um, but I guess he's like, oh, you should choose, my type. And she's like, oh, you like, masculine presenting dudes. You tend to like masculine dudes. He's like, yeah. And he's like, I don't really think a femme guy would work in our relationship. Like he's not going. And then he started talking about the things that I guess a femme guy wouldn't do. And I'm like, okay, well, you kind of assuming, because I'm sure there are some femme guys that are, that might be interested in women that want to, partake. You never know.
That is so
Um,
interesting that you bring this up because I was on Instagram like a few days ago, came across a post where a woman, cisgender woman, says that she's dating a female because
mhm.
he's emotionally intelligent and they can share clothes. So I was like, oh,
Not sure.
like
I want that top.
I said, come on, Ashley Simpson and Evan Ross. But yeah, she's dating.
What?
Yeah, she's
Clock
dating
it.
she's dating a femme because yeah, she said. So yeah,
Oh
Lamont making
my
a
god.
comment like a femme guy ain't gonna eat the cat, and look at that.
I'm just
Emotionally available femme man is in a relationship with a cisgender woman, and
yeah. I'm just screaming because he yelling about eating cat out on the street in the suburbs.
right,
I'm just out here trying to get my mail, and I hear you screaming about
eating cat, baby.
eating
Say
pussy.
you
I'm
like eating
like,
red carpet. My goodness.
I'm just like turning around like, does anybody else hear this shit? No,
Goodness.
but yeah, they got real candid. She was like, you getting a
Mhm.
little explicit, but
That
yeah, I
was
mean, I
Lamont
feel
trying to
like
appear. That was Lamont trying to appear more dominant, more masculine. He's known
I
as a
can see that.
bisexual man out in the streets, so him talking about eating
Yeah.
a cat is his way to look more dominant. So shout out to
Yes.
Lamont and them
Yes.
nice
Yes.
ass teeth.
Yes. Before we move on to the next scene, I thought it was interesting. They started talking about I guess his girlfriend starts to talk about, I guess, the reactions from the group of like who he was dating because they knew he was dating a woman, a cis woman, I'm presuming. And so she's like, oh yeah, at the boxing match, like people were kind of looking and they were like, oh, that's who you're with, that's who you're into, like, and I kind of felt like that's why he was trying to keep her away from the group because I feel like he knew that they were going to be judgy and like they were
Hmm.
going to have preconceived notions of what he's into and who he's with. So how did you feel about her saying that? I know they kind of talked about Rachel and it kind of seemed like they wanted to set something up with her, but maybe it didn't work out. I don't know.
Yeah. I said not Rachel sizing up Auntie. Like Auntie is her competition, and Auntie has the
A
man
lot going
already.
on.
So
Yeah.
like you can't really size up the person that has the trophy. Like maybe you know. So I just thought that
What
that was
old boy
interesting.
say from Noah's Ark? I'm gonna take your man, bitch. Like, not
Very
saying it
much
towards her,
that.
but it's making me think of that clip from Noah's Ark. Like,
That nigga guy. Then Slay
right?
his palms, baby.
Unhinged.
Nutty boo.
Unhinged, baby.
Baby, you want to talk about unhinged? You want to talk
I
about
said all
unfucking
this
hinge,
over some
baby.
dick. My goodness, this
I
is a
was,
lot.
you know what? I ain't even about to go there. But Trey did have body. Trey did have
He
body.
did. He
But
did. He did.
I did want to end this scene. We're just saying that Auntie's wig was tea. I'm
It
going to
T.
get into the business of selling units where it's just a swoop and a high ponytail. Just one
Very
unit.
90s of her.
All you gotta do is just pin it to your natural, like a bun of your head or your natural
Hmm.
whatever, and just use summer ready, literally
Yeah.
ready in like 10 seconds. Like it
Not
takes
to
you like
say
an hour to get dressed, and then you put your unit on in like 10 seconds, and you out the door. I'm living. Shout out to
not to
Auntie.
say she's not eating now, but I feel like she was definitely eating in the 90s. She was like in her 20s in the 90s, so she's she was eating.
I could say yeah, because the hair stay laid, baby. The hair
Yes.
stay laid.
Um and
Shout
we
out to
forget Lamont
Auntie
is older
Simpson.
too. So, you know. I like their dynamic. I like how she listens to him. She seems like a soft presence in his life. And I
Hmm.
feel like he, listens to her and like I like how she's like, like he asks, of course, like, am I man enough for you? And she's like, well, I wouldn't be with you if that wasn't the case. So um I don't know. I like the scene. They had a real conversation for sure.
He did ask her. He asked Lamont asked his girlfriend a question. I can't remember. I think that was the question. Am I man enough for you? And she kind of
Hmm.
hesitated, and then was like, "Well, if you weren't, I wouldn't be with you." And I'm like, "Baby girl, that's not the question.
Oh,
That
so
that
you
that
feel like it wasn't?
like no, absolutely not. Like if I asked my partner, like, oh, like, do you think I'm attractive? Like, if this is something that I'm like kind of insecure about, like,
Hmm.
do you think I'm this? And they're like, oh, if you weren't, I wouldn't be with you. Well, like, why do you like this trait about me? Like, what is it about this trait that attracts you to me or whatever? So like, I don't know, the comment, the answer, I'm sorry, was just kind of shallow because
You
I
didn't think it
kind of
was enough?
hate. Yeah, not even shallow. It was
Okay.
just vague. Like I hate vague answers like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, if I wasn't,
To me, it was
if you
just
weren't, I
giving
would have
like
been.
I don't know. To me, it was just giving like that's the end all be all. Because it's like, what more can I really say? Like, oh yeah, you're masculine. Like, I like that you're masculine. You're masculine enough for me. I guess. I guess she could have
That
just
makes
said
sense.
yes.
Because that's
I
probably a
don't know.
conversation where you just probably was a not a conversation. I wonder if that was a question that he asked her before. Like if he
Hmm.
had been asking her that, and it was just like,
I could
yes,
see
damn
that.
it, like
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
okay,
G baby who
um,
baby said they did a video and she said she would have let Rachel join, but she talks too much. Honestly, I feel like you gotta be selective on who you choose that can't talk too
true.
much.
Yeah, Rachel is a chatty patty.
Yeah. Chat she you know,
I'll live from other
she might
actors,
chat
but
it
yeah,
up.
chatty patty.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tracy Campbell said, Chapel, sorry. Tracy Chapel said, they are a match in freaky heaven. Now, if Rachel kept her mouth shut, they would have worked out. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, you gotta just get your lick and keep it moving. Like you ain't gotta.
Now, since we on the topic of cisgender men, a cisgender black man allegedly bisexual dating. Anywho,
Why is it a legend now?
well, listen,
There it
because we're
go.
not we
There it
because I'm not talking about
go.
Lamar Baby. So this question has been on my mind for the fucking longest. Scary movie, Shorty, Marlon Wayans,
Yeah.
interview with the girl Gail Hairstorm. So she asked him about Drew. He
Yeah.
said the roofies were off. He poured a tongue out his ass. He poured his tongue out his ass and left. And I just always was curious on why was he in that? Why was he on the back door? Like kind
Oh,
of
I
what
don't
kind
know.
of led him to just like, ooh,
Marlon
I'm a,
Marlon gives freaky vibes. I feel like,
I'm
especially since
a.
he's the goofy one. I feel like he's probably gonna go the extra mile versus Sean is a little more.
Yes.
I feel like Sean is a little more reserved. I'm just-
He said he poured his tongue out ass. I said, sir, why are you in that door? Like,
and wasn't Sean the gay one in Scary Movie?
yes. Like,
Wow.
sir, why are you there? Like,
Who
you know
knows?
what?
Who
I
knows?
wouldn't be. I'm not mad at it, but
Yes.
yeah, that's just something
Um.
that's always been on my mind. But
Too funny. Also, I wanted to clock this tea. Thank you, Tracy. She said, so Robert was dating Lemon Pepper, Lemon Pepper, when he was with this lady. That explains why Robert worked out so well because he don't run his mouth. I could see that. I could see that. And I feel like Robert is definitely his type.
goodness.
Now that's a situation that I'm gonna have my ear to the wall. Like what's going on?
Goodness. I wonder
Kidding.
who's being
But
called daddy in that situation.
that's the two dads. That's the two dads.
Well, one of them dads is giving it up, and they calling the other daddy. Somebody's calling somebody daddy. Now,
Okay. Okay.
um,
I thought it would be his girlfriend, but you know,
no, it's male
I don't
male
know.
Phil.
Who knows?
There's a couple of hoes that can be plugged in that situation, baby.
Okay.
One
Swap them
dude is
out.
calling the other dude dad. My goodness. Anywho, because
Mother said
baby,
Lamont, Ted
uh,
Lee, and himself are all 37. Okay. I don't know why I thought
37.
Lamont was a little older than that. Um it might be that pimp hat. He got in that that commercial.
And the no shade
Don't
to
worry
TV.
about who I am. I'm like, who the fuck? Remember, he's like in the mirror like Candyman. Like, what the hell?
Wait, what? What happened?
In the commercial for his cologne when he steps out the shower, and it's like him in the mirror. Don't you worry about who I am. That lives rent free in my head. Because if I'm walking through my house and see somebody in my mirror, and they say, "Don't worry about it," I'm gonna be a little shook.
Bitch, don't worry about it, my baby. Oh, we twirling. If I got
We
to blame me
twirling.
on it, I'm shooting
Yes,
that mirror.
yes.
Definitely shooting that fucking mirror.
It's gonna be
Goodness.
like what Queen Latifah in Scary Movie when she pulled a girl out that TV.
And whoops her
Or no, it was the
ass.
mirror. Yes.
No, it
Yes.
was the TV. I think
Um
it was the TV because
oh,
it
it
was
was the
Homegirl from the
TV.
Ring.
Right, right,
Homegirl from
right,
the
right,
Ring.
right. Okay. Tracy said, "Do y'all think she might be a part of the community, but it's easier for him? It's easier to use him than to come out." maybe she definitely seems like she likes to experiment. I mean, it seems like she might be into Rachel. She's into, the whole idea of being with a bi man. Because I feel like she could be like, I'm with you. I know you're bisexual, but I want it to be a monogamous relationship. In my mind, it's me and you. Like, I don't want to see you with another dude. But it seems like she's open to that. She's open to seeing that happen. So maybe she, she got a little queer in her as well. You know, and I mean, if they having threesomes with women and she's enjoying it, I would assume she interacting with the women as well. It's a lot of brown on brown on brown on brown. I'm into
Mhm.
that. Okay. Not
A
the
lot of
situation. I'm just mean the melanin.
mhm.
But yeah. Shout out to Don D. Thank you for being here. Good to see you.
Yes, new
New subscriber.
subscriber. Thank
Yes, definitely feel free to
you.
subscribe. We trying to do this. Um, Mother said, nope, they dated when Lamont first got to Dallas. He was fresh meat then. Oh, okay,
Hey,
okay,
not fresh meat.
okay.
So you know what is giving Hot Boys? Where
It
No shade,
was.
RC brought Jordan to Dallas, and
Mm-hmm. And
Jordan was like, "Oh, what's a nigga over
took her
there?"
uptown and on every nigga she went downtown. Period. I know
You
that's
got
right.
one more, bitch. You got one more.
I'm just saying.
Ignis.
It's a hot summer. I'm not mad at you. Don D said they was flip flopping. Okay,
Flippy
okay.
floppy boo.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. A mother also confirms they were in a verse relationship. Okay. I'm not mad at that.
So was Auntie also like? I know she was a part of the verse relationship. Well, I know she was a part of the relationship, but was she a part of
Mhm.
the versing? Was she a part of the flipping, the flopping? Um, I'm just curious. Like it's out there, shit. Like was she clapping cheeks? Like
You think she showed up with her strap, with her best friend in her purse?
there you go, baby.
Like,
Yeah, my goodness, and I bet she got like a forearm as a strap,
baby.
baby. Goodness.
They said, whoa, whoa, that's too big. We're good.
Whoa,
We're
Holiday,
good.
you can't give it to him like that. My
You brought
goodness.
a gun to a knife fight. You might need to relax. You might
Goodness,
like,
baby.
we
That's some old kinky shit. I ain't
yeah.
mad at it. I
You
ain't
know
into
what?
it.
Good to them.
Shout out
As
to
long as
Auntie,
it's
baby.
consensual.
Yes, as long as it's consensual and everybody
Mm-hmm.
smells like cocoa butter, shea
Yes,
butter, and brown
yes,
sugar, and
yes.
the room smells like
Intimate.
cinnamon and just the baby powder. I'm here
Yes.
for it, baby.
I feel
I'm here
like
for it.
Uncle Raheem needs to choreograph this situation. They don't need to film it, but I feel like he needs to set it up. Like he needs to make the
He
setting.
should do the set, but
He
anything
should
as far
produce
as
it.
like production, no snooze
Yes.
fest.
Yeah, well,
We
they're
gonna
not
fall
gonna
asleep.
film it. It's just gonna be a
Yeah.
situation with them. Yes.
Okay.
I'm here
Okay.
for that.
'Cause
But yeah, I think
goodness.
it was an interesting conversation for sure. It was probably the most interesting scene this episode. Honestly, maybe this season, just because we don't really hear a lot about bisexual men
Mhm.
and their relationships with cis women. I would presume it's very like
Hetero
behind closed
cis
doors
women,
type stuff. Hetero cis women,
and they're
yes.
black. This is very taboo, baby. Like
Mm-hmm.
this is like almost taboo because I don't really know too many hetero cisgender like black women that will be open to
Mm-hmm.
dating a black man that's openly bisexual. Like
Right.
where we live, they were where I live, where you grew up, is very narrow minded, like
Yes. Yes.
very like
Yes.
1950s here, and it's like
You're dating a bi man, but you don't know you're dating a bi man if you're
mhm,
dating a bi man. Like, yeah. And
very
it
much
kind of
that.
reminds me of like even with you spoke on I Am Zoe, and how he said he doesn't want to like date a gay man. Or no, he said he doesn't want to date a gay man, right? Not a bisexual man. I guess neither, I guess.
He doesn't want to
But
date a gay man.
okay,
He'll go
okay,
straight
never
for
mind
trade.
then. But it just kind of reminds me of how some of the girls will be like, "Oh, I don't want to date a bi man," but then it's like you see them with a DL dude, and it's like, well,
Mhm.
he's essentially bi. He has
Wow,
kids. He with
wow,
women. Yeah, it's like he's
wow.
bi. He's just not
Mhm.
out, I guess. So you like that's
You
that's
know,
why you're with
it
him.
just be just dumb in general, but they literally just be dumb when it comes to that. And I don't know
Yeah,
how they can convince themselves, like, oh,
even
like
though
I'm,
that's what it is. Yeah.
yeah, Yeah, so that's crazy. It would just always blow my mind for somebody to just be that stupid. But shout out to you dumb bitches, because if you dumb bitches weren't dumb bitches, then we wouldn't have anything to fucking talk about on this podcast. So
This is
yeah.
like the eighth time you've called someone a dumb bitch on this.
Listen, that's gonna be my thing for the rest of 2025. Like
Oh
fucking
my
dumb
god.
bitches flocking to Dio nigga. Like, what the fuck can a Dio nigga do for you? Like, I guess he could like take you down, but
I
you,
think it's a lot going
it's,
on. It's
it
a
is.
lot going
Anywho, we're not here to get
on.
alien. Are you
Tracy
ready
said
to
she
move on to the
appreciates the
next one?
conversation.
Yes,
Yes,
baby. That's
yes,
what we're
yes,
here
yes.
for. Cause we
Um,
gotta shed light on the 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 bisexual, the spectrum, that
yes.
part of the community. Cause
The girlfriend likes to eat out every now and then. Period. I'm not mad at her. You know.
you know, I ain't mad at not for me, but I ain't mad at that for her. You know, shout out
Every
to
now and
Auntie
then you
J.
get a little takeout. You don't gotta cook. You don't have to cook at home every night. I guess.
Period.
Like,
Big purr. I ain't mad at that. So,
um,
baby, the next scene,
mhm,
Leo's reckless doll event. No
yes.
shade. The way Homeboy was talking about this event, I was expecting the anchovy episode from SpongeBob. I was expecting
They was
people
gonna
to
be in
be in
that
that
bitch
bitch,
deep.
shoulders, yes,
Yes.
shoulder to shoulder, no
Yeah.
low key sweating.
Mhm.
But I guess the turnout was nice. Um, there were strippers or dancers. I was expecting like 8 or 9 dancers, only
Mhm.
kind of like 4 or 5 girls. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? No shade. I don't want to be a negative Nancy, but baby, when you say you're bringing strippers, I'm expecting like Jocelyn's Cabaret. I'm expecting a whole just
Turned
you know.
up.
So
That.
yeah, so no shade. I guess it was turned for them, but when you say dancers, girls, baby, yeah, I'm thinking like 12, 13 girls. Anywho, so
Mhm.
I did say the venue was cute. I love the pink lighting. I
It
thought
was
the
cute.
lighting was very tropical,
Mhm.
very
It went with
Miami,
the
very
aesthetic.
very Vice City, very
Yes, I can see that. I can see that.
very. I'm about to do a line of coke off this bar right now. But I was living for the venue, living for the color scheme. Um, so Rachel, per usual, is not in fucking color. In this bright ass
Never
orange dress, the
is.
body was bodying. Like the body was just definitely body.
I
And it's
said
crazy because Rachel, when she does this, she's always in a color that complements her goddamn skin. So I feel like her closet
she
is
don't
just
be
full of
giving a fuck
clothes
about, yeah,
that's just like
about
it's like color
dress
scheme. Like if the
code.
red did
Yeah.
not complement her body or her color,
She
her
said,
skin,
"I'm not
she
doing
yeah,
this."
no baby, I'm going with this color. So I guess I can
It
give her that because like she was ran the fuck out of that
I
orange
get
dress.
it, 'cause she was eating. She was
Boy,
eating. She
listen,
looked like a literal Barbie doll. Like, she looked
listen,
so
that
good
her
in that
skin is just
orange.
flawless. Like,
Yeah.
and it's crazy to have on an orange dress and still be that radiant and it's dark as fuck outside. Like, homegirl
Exactly.
was eating.
It's like an
Like,
eye magnet. Like, I
yeah,
feel like
very,
every time
very,
she was in
very
the
that,
the camera, I was,
very
like,
that,
looking at her. But, yeah, she's gorgeous.
very
No
that.
doubt about
So
it.
they head outside and Rachel Barbie doll, she says she's hungry, and I was like, I thought there was food. Jet says that the food is being cooked so that it's fresh, and I said,
Mhm.
why don't you motherfuckers believe in the burners? Like, come on. That's what they sell them for. These damn wicks. So you could cook the
You
food
think he don't know
somewhere.
about the burners? Because I
He
don't think
gotta know
burners is
about the
a
burners.
black thing.
Listen, baby, I've been to church functions, baby. They got the burners, and I've been to black churches. We've been to black cookouts, and they have the burners. They
But
have the
that's what I'm saying.
burners.
Like, they have the burners, but I don't know if that's an exclusive. I'm saying I know it's a black thing, but,
Listen,
like, I don't know if
he
it's an
can
exclusive black thing. Like,
listen. Look,
but you have to have a way to warm your food up if you
yes,
cater.
Google food burners. Now, I bet you could type Google food burners, and they pop up. That's all
Yeah,
y'all gotta do.
yeah.
That's all you have to do is just
And then you
Google
put
the
the
damn
water in
burners.
the aluminum pan, and then you put the burner under it, and then it
Yes,
kind of
and
like,
it keeps it
yeah,
hot, so you don't have to cook. If this is your party, homeboy, you don't need to be breaking a sweat in no way, shape,
mhm,
or form when it comes to making food. Be
right,
fly, have the food fresh, or just have it already warm, so you can just put it on the burners. People come
yeah,
in, they eat. But this is just me. Don't invite me to a venue and the food is not on the fucking table when I get there. Like, don't be like it's being made. Because I'm sorry, I'm just gonna walk out the door. I'm going to
yeah,
get food that's if I gotta wait for food to be made, bitch, I might as well go to some another place and just place the order and just wait there. So I'm sorry,
Honestly,
I don't want to be a
at
negative
least the food's
Nancy.
gonna be hot.
Yes, at least the food is going to be hot. So anywho, there's no food. They outside. They're
What did
saying
you
that
think
the
of?
chicken was nasty. I guess
Yeah.
the chicken from the Valentine's Day was cold.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I did kind of find it interesting that they were kind of like on Rio's neck about the food not being ready, some of the food being cold from previous events. But when he comes
Mm-hmm.
outside, the energy was almost a little. We didn't say that. He's blown it out of proportion. It was like,
Yeah.
ooh,
I think I see both sides. I think on one hand, they were being honest. Like I feel like, especially like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like they were just being honest. Like I feel like they were being a little shady too. I'm not gonna lie. Cause then somebody was like, oh, y'all waiting for this food, but y'all didn't like the last food or whatever. I feel like I get that, but at the same time, like if you're at somebody's event, I feel like you're kind of bringing negative energy
mhm,
if the event is happening and y'all are like kind of being shady and like talking shit about it. To me, it's kind of a bad look, but I get like them just being honest and giving their honest opinion on his event. But for so many other people on the show to not have events and to be like critiquing and like talking shit, it's a little like, okay, well, at least he had something. It may not have gone extremely well, but I at least he did something.
true,
Um
true.
wait, so mother said, considering I pay, I could care less. I kind of get that because I forgot that he paid. If I pay my $20, bitch, I'm not gonna rip your event to shreds, but I'm gonna give my opinion. Like, and I don't care how you feel about it.
Very
I
true.
pay my money.
Very true.
Like I got my monies,
Kind of
I'm just trying
reminds
to
me of
talk
that
people
time I
up.
was at a birthday party and the bouncer, who was more cockeyed than a little bit, tried to charge me $20 to get in. Like,
I do
girl,
remember you telling me that.
you looking like the fortune teller from
Wasn't
Courage
that
the
the
Cowardly Dog.
perfect
The
the
perfect beat, baby, a death
I
trap.
charge it
There's only one way
charging
in. There's
$20
one
for a
way
perfect beat
in
is
and one
wild.
way out. Listen,
Jesus.
no, it's a death trap. Any venue that only has one exit and one entrance is no.
Yes. For
Absolutely,
those that
it's
don't
not a place for
know,
me.
it's a small hole in the wall. Like it's
Small,
yeah,
like
crazy small.
baby, go look at your closet right now, and that's what we're talking about. That's
Yes.
it's one way
And if
in,
you
one
don't have
way
a
out.
walk-in, it don't even matter. It's about that size. Like,
And you know what's crazy?
uh,
The walls are surrounded with glass, so you think that the place is bigger than it is.
mhm.
Damn, pow, right in the kisser,
Right.
right
I was gonna
into the
say it's
mirror,
also
baby.
glass, so you can see who got that Grammy again. Yeah, you
Right?
can you
Yeah,
can
but
be aware of your surroundings. Um, but
yeah,
yeah, I
the
think
yeah, shout out to Rio. I just don't have me somewhere where the food has to be made. Like I want the food to
yeah.
be ready when I get there. Like
Yeah, and I feel like if you're inviting people that you know don't really see it for you, be prepared for them to be critical of
right,
your event. Like
very true.
I think it's a little weird to think like, oh, they're not gonna talk shit. Like, of course they're gonna talk shit. It's a TV show and they don't like you. Like, of course they're gonna have their things to say. Um, but let's talk a little bit about Zesty. First off, Zesty dyed their hair. I think they had blonde in. I thought it was funny how they dyed it, but they didn't wash it. No shade. Because it was still giving just like tangled and like
Mhm.
just matted, but it had blonde highlights in it now. So I was just like, oh, okay, it's not much better, but you did change it up, I guess. But I did like the fit. I did like the little blazer. Was it like a dress? Was it
Mhm.
separates? I don't remember, but it was giving business bitch. It was giving Mugler little business bitch vibe. I was kind of into
Okay.
it. Um, I feel like you definitely holding your tongue. You like, let me think of some nice things to say.
You know, I'm not mad at it. You know, I go for a good blazer. Shoulder
Yeah.
pads, you know, I love shoulder pads. So
Now, where I do feel like the messiness came in, and let us know how y'all feel in the comments. Shout out to the people that are watching. Definitely like, but let us know how y'all feel in the chat. I said he's definitely giving Zesty is definitely giving KGB vibes the way he reported back to Rio about what they were saying. Like immediately went back and was just like blah 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 blah. This is what's going on. And I was like, oh, I probably would have waited just because I feel like I don't want to fuck up your vibe during your event.
right.
I don't want to
Right.
take tension away from your event. I probably would have just told you after the fact, but I guess I get telling you now because like it's happening right now. So it's, you know, you can just address it, I guess. There's not going to be a lot of time for he say she say, I guess. Even though it is kind of he say she say at this point, but um Tracy Chapel said I have so many feelings about Rio in that event. Yeah, I mean, he tried. It may not have, you know, it didn't turn out the way I guess people thought it was going to turn out, but I mean, he put something on, which I think I can give him kudos for. You know, just like Jet Jeff in the beginning of the season, like I was like, oh, okay, this event is cool, you know, blah, 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 but you put something on. So I feel like you get some points for that. But Mother said all I can say was 22 people were there and 10 were cast members. So y'all do the math.
My
Damn.
goodness.
Well, you know, he be rolling deep with his Latin homeboys. So I'm wondering why they didn't show up.
Also, where was the straight niggas that be there for his girl? It's like,
There we go. There we go. I was also wondering that. Mm. They was at Crew Lounge, baby.
my goodness.
They was
Not
at
Crew Lounge.
like
Goodness.
but yes, she wore that blazer 7 times this season. Hang it up. You know what? Was this the blazer that they wore during the photo shoot? Because it
Mhm.
does look familiar. Well, child, you gotta get it how you live. You gotta accessorize. You can't just wear the same thing over and over
True.
again. You gotta
Remember on BDC 12, they Lauren, her cousin, said they gave Jada like a dress or some shoes at like the photo shoot, and she wore that bitch to the reunion or some shit like
Jesus,
that.
it's tragic.
Goodness.
Oh my god. It's my guest child. Um Double E, shout to you. Said, Mother, please, we will be seeing the same skirt. To be the core of the season is over. If you should watch the shade. Oh, okay. Interesting. All right now.
What's
People have
going on?
opinions.
Mhm.
Mother said I can say whatever I want, please, darling. Not y'all getting into it in the comments. See, this is why I leave Troy to do it because I be just clicking and not even reading. But I don't
And
know.
don't
I
say,
mean,
baby, you gotta know your reading glasses and not your contacts, so you know what you're doing.
well, I'm trying to, like my
Oh
tripod
yeah,
is
you're
like
you're
right here, so I'm trying to
it's
read
split.
around this big ass bar in the middle of my screen. But
Well, note
um,
that the comments are
you know
messy.
what? Why? Yeah, why? Let's key on this good Pride weekend, okay? We got skirts, we got blazers. You know, I'm known for wearing. If I have a fit that I like, I'm known for wearing it multiple times. I might change up some things. I might wear a hat with this one, change up the shoes or whatever. But you know, if I don't really have a lot of clothes, so if I find something I like, I'm a wear it. You know, I have access to a washing machine. Like,
You know, my get up, thigh high boots and a trench coat. You can accessorize
period.
that as many times as you want to, and it's never gonna go out of look. It's never gonna go out of style.
I still need to get that Dickies jumpsuit.
Listen, bitches don't know if you're gonna work on cars, if you rob
Yes.
banks,
Gotta
like
keep them guessing. Yes.
police ain't gonna know when to kick in the door, baby.
They ain't gonna know when to arrest. Okay. They ain't gonna know when to step in. But yeah, so how did you feel about Zesty kind of reporting back to Rio and like kind of confronting everybody? Did you think it was drama? Did you think he had a right to do it because they're friends? What was the vibe?
I'm kind of on board with you. I would have waited because they're just gonna put him in a different mind space or headset. I'm sorry, headspace, and then it's kind of gonna like it's giving Jet Just event when Rio came outside yelling for no goddamn reason. So like, why would you want
Right.
to put him through that or have him like be outside
Yeah,
acting a fool again? But
I can see that.
I don't know. Yeah, Zesty could have waited. Like he could have hung out or caught out with Rio the
Hmm.
next day. Hey, let's meet up for brunch, discuss how we thought the party went, and then really, hey, like I heard you talking shit. So Zesty was like he wanted to start a pot,
Yeah.
which is like when the fuck is the end of the season? When the fuck is Zesty gonna have like a loss for like? I guess that's just never gonna
I don't
happen.
know. Wasn't he supposed to supply drinks for this event? Did that
And
ever
I thought,
happen? I
yeah,
don't.
I guess
Well,
his
he did.
girls were there to mix the drinks, but like Why didn't we see them make drinks? Like,
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know what, because they had that one meetup a couple episodes ago, and then like now we're here at the event. So I don't know what effort he put into the drinks. I know they asked where the dark liquor was, and he said they had no dark liquor, but they did have a particular liquor there that's Mexican owned. Did you think that was shady?
oh, not really.
Because I'm just like, to me, it seemed like he was just saying like if somebody was to say it's black owned, like, oh, this beer is black owned, like people do that because it's like, oh, you want to support black people.
Right.
So I felt like he was saying like we're Mexican, or I'm, yeah, I guess no, is Rio Mexican? Anyway, it's Mexican owned, like we're supporting Hispanics. Like I don't feel like it was shade in that. I feel like he just wanted to, but I could see how they're saying like dark liquor and then Mexican owned. I don't know. It was,
I think it was the heat of the moment.
yeah, that's true. I feel like Mother is very on guard.
Yeah.
So it's like anything somebody say is like, oh, you know.
Somebody in the comments said Rio looked like Roseanne, and for the longest, I've been trying to figure out who Rio looks like, and it's Roseanne,
Roseanne.
not Roseanne Barr. I thought the bitch was
Roseanne.
white.
Rosanna, baby.
Ignorant. It's definitely like, yeah, the bangs, Rio's with the bangs,
Yeah.
different Roseanne.
I could see that. I could see that. Yes.
90s Roseanne. Roseanne or Roseanne or Rosie O'Donnell.
I'm gonna say Rosie.
Based on Rosie, body on based on Roseanne, body on Rosie O'Donnell. I'm sorry.
He has that masculine edge that Rosie O'Donnell has. They have
Remember Dave Chappelle that said she peed through the fucking hole in the boxers?
yes.
I said, my goodness.
You want to talk about Butch, baby? Yes.
Oh my god.
Butch. And speaking of that, we do get introduced. Well, not introduced, but we do see that Rio has a partner, which is interesting because I thought he had gotten broken up with after that car accident he got into earlier in the season. But I don't know if this is he got back with his partner or if this is a new person. But yeah, he's dating someone who does drag. He said when he met them, they were already doing drag, but as they've been together, he started to go out and perform in drag, which I thought was cool. I didn't really expect that just because I don't know. We talked about how Rio doesn't really seem to affiliate himself with, you know, yeah, the gays and femininity and all of that. Like, of course, if he's dating a man, the man is probably gay, but like, I didn't expect for him to be with a drag queen. So I was like, okay, that's fine. We don't really get much into their relationship. The boyfriend showed up there to perform, so I said, okay, period. It was what it was.
Get to work with your boo. I said, okay, cool. Rio's in love. Like, I wish we could have saw more of this, but
yeah.
shout out to Rio. Shout out to Rio. I think his partner's stage name is Tanisha. What is it? Tanisha Garcia or something like that?
Yes, to something. Tanya or something like that. I don't remember, unfortunately. But Trey Carter, I want to highlight this comment. I think this was the Roseanne, baby. I need to see. Do you remember the intro that it was a couple of seasons of Roseanne where they would like morph? I think it was like a later season because it was like them throughout the years. I want to see.
You know what? I'm sorry. He is out of pocket. He is out of pocket for that. I'm sorry. He look.
Let me in. Let me in. Jesus. But yes, it's definitely giving that. It's giving that.
Heathen.
But yeah. Yeah, I also love how the boyfriend was just minding their business. But yes, Desigo gets Rio. Rio comes back and he basically confronts everybody. Like, what was said? Like, what was the shit y'all was talking? And they're kind of thrown off because they're just like, okay, like we were just kind of keying about it. We weren't like really trying to speak down on your event, but we were being shady. So it's just like, I guess we just have to own up to it. Like you said, at first they weren't really owning up to it, and then they were like, okay, I said this, I said that. I'm not gonna lie, the cupcakes being from Walmart was a key. The cupcakes were from Walmart, but he brought the cupcakes to be extra. So I said, okay. I don't, I don't, I don't know. I don't know. I guess they weren't satisfied with his services. He rightfully felt defensive. I feel like anybody would feel defensive in that, in that situation.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I feel like when you put yourself out there, people are going to give you feedback. And I feel like if your shit is the shit, your chicken is not cold, your food slaps, your girls, dance down and get the party turned. Like, I feel like you don't really need to like clap back at them,
Mhm.
but I don't know. I feel like if multiple people were saying the chicken was cold, maybe you need some burners, baby. You need a way to warm that food up, keep that food warm.
Period.
Um,
Period.
so
That
yeah.
part.
Um, yeah, I
That
don't I
part.
don't know. They did kind of stand on business though, because they were like, okay, well, I said Rachel was like, I said they were from Walmart. I said they I saw the ticket or the tag or whatever on the little, what is it called? The sticker on the damn cupcakes.
Mhm.
Like, they were from Walmart. It is what it is. I feel like it's not really wrong that they were from Walmart. I mean, maybe he's not really good at making pastries yet or like dessert. Maybe that's something he's working on. I don't know. I feel like
Baby, cupcakes is like, ooh, the static is back.
oh,
Goodness. Okay, it's gone. But cupcakes is, I don't know, like easy. Like you just cake batter and then you just put them in the damn cupcake holders and bake them. Ice
that's
them
true.
motherfuckers and put sprinkles. Like
Yeah,
maybe he
that's
didn't
true.
have time to like
I'm thinking he's trying to do
but
some gourmet shit and just didn't have the time for it, so he got the Walmart cupcakes. But I don't know.
well he could have been a gourmet bitch and put his like mouth or put his mouth where his foot is or put his foot where his mouth is, however the fuck that saying goes.
Money where
And
his
just made
mouth
some damn
is.
yes. And just made
Mhm.
some goddamn cupcakes. You can't be like I'm extravagant, the biggest CEO, and then come in with
They
some
said it was
like
Wingstop. Wingstop.
Wingstop code, baby.
Tragic.
Speaking
That
of
is
Wingstop, baby, Wing Snob, shout out to motherfucking Wing Snob. Get up
okay.
on Wing Snob. They tenders,
I know that's right.
baby. They tenders and they fries. Get up on motherfucking Wing Snob. I might go there tonight. I'm
Yeah.
debating, but get up on Wing
Eating
Snob,
some
baby.
wings.
The fucking chicken
Some
tenders and
wahings, but
fries.
wash them hands.
That part, that motherfucking part.
Wash
Um,
them hands. Tracy said, wait, was the cast talking about the cold food at this event or the last event? They were talking about the food at the last event. So they were
mhm,
talking about the food at
the
Rachel's
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day event. They said that this food at this event was good. The last event, the food was not good, apparently. So, yeah. I wonder what he made for this event. I'm not sure, but I mean, Rachel was in there mixing lip gloss with a bowling spoon. I hope she does not continue to use that bowling spoon for like food. Like, I feel like you need your utensils for like your skincare lip gloss stuff, and then you need the stuff that you eat with every day.
Very
But
true.
yeah, I feel like they all, that's the funny thing about them being shady, is that they're all kind of like silly in the way that they approach their careers. Like, they all don't really know what they're doing, like to the extent of like an expert, but they are all shady. So it's just like, I kind of agree with Mother, where it's just like we're all shady, but we all are kind of like figuring ourselves out, I guess. But it's one thing to be shady at somebody's event while you're there. Like, I don't know. I feel like it could have just been a cute like key like shade moment that Rio didn't know about, but then Zesty went and told him, so it just kind of blew it up.
Mhm.
But talking about burners, I don't know if that's the name, probably, but the little burners that you put on with the aluminum pan, you put the water in the pan and then you put the another pan, a smaller pan with the food in it, and then it kind of like boils the water and it keeps it warm. Or it doesn't boil the water, but it keeps it warm. Very, very cookout vibes, very
Mhm.
family reunion vibes, very church function vibes. Um, so yeah,
Baby, you can get them bitches at Sam's Club. Like they
you
are
really
not made to
can.
order. Like
They're kind of a requirement.
They are.
Like you might as well. Like
Yeah, if
how you
you're
gonna keep your
serving
food?
a group of people, hell yeah. Like
Yeah.
it's not like I guess a Thanksgiving dinner where the food is gonna be hot for like a few hours.
Right.
And like no homeboy, you are literally feeding like this is a party that you promoted. So like why in the hell is the food being brought out after like a few hours? Like to each his
Mm-hmm.
own. But if I'm having an event, like the food is gonna be ready as like when the guests get there.
Right.
Like it's gonna be covered, so of course there's like no contamination or whatever. But yeah, get them damn burners and keep that shit warm. Nigga, don't about to have me walk in there and oh, the food is being made. Like hell no, baby. If I gotta walk outside, you talk about the food is being made. I'm going to get me a burger.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Or at least
anywho.
have like some finger food, something small, an
That's
appetizer to carry people
where
over, and
that
then the
part,
real food comes out.
the
You gotta,
appetizers, the
yeah,
smorgasbord,
finger food,
um,
okay?
not smorgasbord, the
A
charcuterie
pig in
board.
a blanket.
Listen, listen, the cheese spread with the crackers and the
Yes.
slices of grapes. Whatever Chef Marquise Terrell brought to Ted Lee's event last season, that's what
Hmm.
Rio should have had at this event. You know he renounced his homosexual lifestyle, by the way.
We did. We did talk about
So
that. Check out our episode where we talked about the renouncement of his homosexuality.
I wonder if he spent the night with Uncle Lamont and Auntie Lisa, and that's what made him kind of just give up that evil,
Hmm.
wicked lifestyle.
Uncle Ahmad and Auntie Lisa. Maybe. Maybe.
You
Or
you
you think he
know
ran across
Lamont's
TP's path? That could also be it, allegedly.
you talk about Medea? My good, I hope not.
I
Ew.
don't know.
Ew.
You will you see did you see the text messages come out?
Listen, I'm coming to this theory. Tyler Perry loves a distressed black woman.
Uh-huh.
Spike Lee loves a black man on crack in his movies.
Wait. He does love touching on the crack epidemic and how it affected the black community. Yes.
Spike Lee
Um
loves him a crackhead.
not he
And
loves him a crackhead.
he loves him a crackhead. And
You know what it
CP
makes me
loves a
think
strong
of?
woman, black woman. What?
What was that season of Real Housewives of Atlanta when Phaedra was beefing with old girl Heavy, and she was like, "Oh, it was old girl from House of Pain. She's an actress." And I guess her story was
Demetria.
she was on drugs. Yeah, she's like, "Well, have you ever done crack?" Like, wait, not you asking her if she's ever done it before.
The season
I
that was
was acting,
Roger
bitch.
Bob season.
Like, I
Go
was
ahead.
acting.
I was acting.
Like,
I was acting. You dumb motherfuckers.
Jesus.
Come through, Carrot Top. But yeah, Roger Bob. I
Yeah.
know. I know him very well. Anywho,
Yes.
shout out to Rio. Rio's in love. So to close the episode, to close the review, the final
She said,
episode of
"Oh, sorry. Oop, you
this is
froze.
Son of a.
I just wanted to say, Stern. It's called Sterno burners. Okay, I
Mhm.
just knew they were burners. I didn't know like the actual name for it, but period. Okay. Trey Carter also said they did not eat at this event. So okay, but some people were saying that they said the food was good. So I don't know. Um, I'm okay with food coming out in stages. I actually prefer the food to come out in stages, to be honest. Like, honestly, give dinner party teas. Like, I mean, I guess that's more suited for a dinner party, but like, oh, you have the appetizers come out, then you have the, main course, then you have, you could have multiple main courses, and then you have like the dessert and drinks and
Yeah.
all of that.
See,
Like, I
I'm not
think
mad
that
at
was
that, but like stage one, should stage one be there when the guests are there, or the
stage
stage
one
one could come out
was air and Tito's.
like? Absolutely not. Not you trying to get me drunk on Tito's on an empty stomach. Well, I guess not an empty stomach, because I'm always pregame before, not
Yeah,
pregame, but I'm always gonna like eat.
I'm gonna eat and
Yeah,
I'm
before
gonna
I
drink
leave.
before I get
Yeah, I'm a
there.
pregame, so yeah, I'm gonna eat.
But
I'm
I'm
not gonna
also
go
gonna show
there
up in an
on
Uber
empty
or
stomach.
take the train. I'm not gonna be driving, but yes.
Very much that.
Yeah, I wanted to point out, how did you feel about Zesty? I mean, do you think Zesty gives confessional gangster? I kind of noticed in this scene it was giving, like, when Rachel asked for the liquor, the dark liquor, he was like, you shouldn't be even worried about dark liquor. You should be worried about finding a job. I was like, damn. I feel like if he had said that in the scene, she probably would have like tried to attack him. Like it definitely
Mhm.
would have escalated the situation. So do you think it gives confessional gangster? Because he was talking kind of
Yeah.
reckless in
Yeah.
the confessionals, but in the scenes he
Mhm.
wasn't saying that. So interesting. Um,
Very
I peeped
much. Yeah.
that.
You know who to
Yeah,
play with. That's what that is.
there we go. Um, so they kind of point out how Zesty, I guess, when Rio approached everybody, he basically called Zesty to stand over by him, which I don't know why he did that. But I said it was giving very big bro, little bro energy. I don't think it was giving like, oh, you're a minion or like you're a but it gave like, oh, you see him as an older brother kind of thing, and like, that's kind of how your relationship is. But what did you think of that?
uh, I I don't want to say big bro, little bro, and I don't want to say he sunned him, but he kind of sunned him. Like Zesty, come stand right here. Like who
Hmm.
the fuck you talking to? So, I guess Zesty put himself in that position because Zesty couldn't keep his mouth closed. But
Yeah.
no, ain't no nigga ever gonna point in the spot and tell me to come stand. Like so,
Yeah.
absolutely not, absolutely not. But it was kind of giving follower. Like I've been saying, I don't think Zesty and Rio have a genuine relationship. I kind of just feel like they
Okay.
just coexist because they're both Hispanic. Like if they do have a genuine relationship, I don't see it on camera because it's very we're bad bitches, we get money, that's that. So, um,
Uh, bad bitches get money. Yeah, that is pretty surface level, I guess you could say.
listen,
G baby who baby agrees with you. Mother said, I'm getting dressed, but yes, there was food. They ate. I didn't because I'm allergic to seafood. Oh, okay. Okay.
I
What the
do
food
remember
look
him
like?
saying shrimp. I think he had shrimp there, and then something else. Shrimp, I think
Corn, I thought
corn.
I saw. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he said either broccoli or spinach or something like that. And I think there was another dish, but I can't really remember.
Mm,
Seafood
okay.
is lit, but baby, seafood is not gonna sit well in my stomach with a couple shots of rum and vodka. Give me something a little bit heavier. Like fried
Yeah.
fish for me, baby. When I was talking about fried,
Right.
that was
And
hard.
put a
Like,
little put a piece of bread with it.
I don't usually go for a piece of bread, but yeah, give me a whole bottle of Louisiana hot sauce and a piece of bread.
Yes.
Well,
I don't know
actually,
about the
more
whole
than
bottle. I
that,
just need a couple of splashes. Maybe
baby.
a little
Make my
lime,
shit
little
buffalo.
lemon
Ooh, that's gonna
wrapped
be
up in
good
that bread.
with a little lemon pepper.
Tea. Yes.
Ooh, baby. I don't feel like
I
I
need to go back home. I
listen.
need
I was
to
just
go
gonna
back
say
home.
I kind of want to go to Fish and Chicken. They give me some fried heart, baby.
Oh, I need to
Catfish and
go.
fry that shit hard. Fry it
Oh
hard,
my god.
baby. I want my shit to have like 3 layers of skin when it comes out
Yes.
of that grease.
Yes.
These
That needs
niggas.
it needs to crunch. It needs to crunch. Um,
Ooh.
Trey Carter said he maybe bi just want to deal with women at the moment, but I seen the OnlyFans footage. So he's talking about Marquise. It seemed like he renounced the whole identity, I guess you could say. Um, I don't know. Um, hopefully,
Wait,
he's in a better place wherever he's at.
wait. Pin
'Cause
that
I didn't
comment
know that
again.
was something you could just give up, huh?
Wait, pin that comment again. Was that about the chef?
It is about the chef.
I think this one. Okay, so the OnlyFans footage.
Yes, I knew that's what you were gonna.
Yeah, so Trey Carter, brother. What is he giving? Is he Fat Rabbit killing? Is he Venom, romance, Powerverse?
Oh,
Is he a is he Trap Boy, Ocean, Bring Me Mars?
I
More
got my
fire, more
finger
fire.
on the remove
Okay,
button.
so I'm not even gonna go there. Okay, okay, so I'm not even gonna do it. All right, all right, all
No,
right, all right. I'm not even
I
gonna do
didn't
it.
know
So
he had
yes, just let me
OnlyFans.
know. I didn't
But
either.
yeah. I mean, it's to me it's interesting when people say like, oh, they aren't gay. Because I didn't know that that was something you could decide. Like I guess you can decide to actively not be with men anymore, like not seek out sexual situations or like relationships with men. But I'm just like, aren't you still gay at the end of the day? Like you still are attracted to men. That's not really something you can help. But I don't know how that works.
Donnie
Um,
McClurkin, I believe it was Donnie McClurkin, said it worked for him. He was gay, pray to God,
mhm.
and now he isn't attracted to men anymore.
That's
His
interesting.
face says that he's lying. He has a face only another man can love. No shade. You know what? I'm sorry. The static is back.
One of
The
those
static is
faces.
back. So I'm a cool it. I'm a cool it. You know what you introduced the last thing. I'm just gonna sit over here on mute, baby. Okay, the static is gone by the way, but
It's
yeah,
gone.
the static is gone.
And
The
I
static is
Can
gone. But
you hear me?
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Hmm.
Thank you all for still just being here for the foolishness. We're on our last scene. Um, but yes, so Mother, Donnie, and Chloe meet up outside, of course, to just kind of like chat. I think they were having drinks and food, if I'm not mistaken. But they just talk about like the aftermath of the event. They kind of talk about how it was weird how Rio charged, I guess, the people he didn't like, Mother and Donnie, to show up, which I thought was kind of petty, but in like a hilarious way. Like the fact that you charge them, and the fact that I mean, it's kind of a boss move to pay and show up anyway. Just because you're like, okay, whatever. Like I want to see what it's giving, kind of
Right.
vibes. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm assuming Mother did not get their $20 worth, based off of what they were saying in the comments. Um, but yeah, I said paying a Netflix month subscription of to attend an event for a bitch you don't like is hilarious. Like that is too funny. Like
Especially when the event, like you just said, the event doesn't give what she
give,
expected.
yeah, it
It's
doesn't.
not what I paid $20 for. So
Yes. And you
that's
know
kind of
what?
crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. If I don't like your ass, bitch, I'm gonna be Gordon Ramsay out this bitch. I'm gonna be like, oh, this
Right. What's homegirl from no, not Tabby takes over. Not Tabitha Slamaker. What's homeboy the bar rescue? I would be that
oh,
motherfucker.
John Tapper, yes.
Yes,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna be
John
that
Tapper too.
nigga.
Yes. Just come in like, what the
Yeah,
fuck? This
yeah,
nigga
critical on every
no.
goddamn
Yeah.
thing, baby.
Yes, yes,
No,
yes.
no shade, audience co-host. Let me know. Now that we know that the event didn't give to mothers like him, what would y'all have spent that $20 on? Where would you have used that
What
twenty
would I have
dollars?
spent that $20 on? Probably what would have I probably would have spent it on a bag. Because I would probably have to be high to get through
Get out of my head! Yes, that's what I was thinking, baby. I'm gonna grab
a bag.
me a couple pre rolls and
Yeah,
and a half pint, and I'm just gonna cool it.
I'm gonna just
I,
chill.
I might go cruise. I
I
might go
might
cruise.
cruise too. It depends on how much of that
I
pint I'm gonna
might
have, how
go
much of that
cruise.
half pint I'm gonna get. But I might go cruising. Not at the what was it, Secrets or whatever. Where did Donnie and Chloe
It
meet
was-
up?
I think it was Bliss. I think
Passions?
it was
Oh,
Bliss.
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 Okay, I ain't going
Ooh,
to Bliss,
baby.
child, because that's the real
Baby.
backrooms. Okay,
Listen, they gonna turn you everywhere but loose in that motherfucker. Listen,
no me gusta, no me gusta nada.
I'm
Like
sorry.
I'm
It's
not into that.
it's Chloe still being outside when the set pulled up. Like, girl, what you doing over here? Like,
Yeah, I
like
need to put some poppers and lube. I said, oh, okay. Well,
Donnie is a key, but yeah, like
oh,
my
oh my god.
goodness.
But
You
yeah,
said a bag. I ain't mad at that. A bag. I'm definitely,
yeah, I'm gonna spend my
definitely.
$20 on a bag. Let us know. Oh, Trey Carter said I have tank of gas. Period. Like,
Okay, come
come
on,
on, I gotta
maturity,
get home.
responsibility.
Like, I live for that. I live for that. Yeah.
Yes, come on, maturity.
Um, G Baby Hoobie said a bag for sure.
A
Yes,
bag,
I need a
yes.
bag. Yes.
A bag.
A movie theater ticket. Period. I can see that as well. I can see Sinners again. Why not?
That part. That
Yeah.
part.
Why not?
That part.
A meal so I
That,
can actually eat. Yeah.
listen, because I would be right at White House's drive.
Yes. Oh my
Listen,
god.
you can eat good as fuck at White House's for 20. I mean, you can eat
Right?
good as
Let
fuck
me
at
get
any
a
restaurant for $20, but White
sure
House's,
sure with a crave case. Like you get a burger, you get a burger,
right?
I will eat
You
at
is
your
petty as fuck. Eat
yes.
me.
Get y'all this crave case. Yes. You know that's my childhood. I'm like another crave case.
Oh my
But
goodness.
yes.
Oh god.
They talk about so um there were some looks in this scene that I kind of lived for. Again, hate that I didn't clip out anything, but I was kind of living for Donnie's confessional fit. You know, he's such a skinty legend. And he had that like bodysuit on. It was giving like rave vibes. Like he would just be just going off of being in the corner, just dancing for his life. Type shit. And that fit. I feel like it was definitely giving like 3 sheets to the wind, just off of being just dancing, baby.
Ooh.
Dancing for a good 12 hours.
My goodness. I'm sorry, baby. You dancing for 12 hours. You not off a beat. I'm sorry. You dancing for 12 hours, baby. You not off a beat.
What from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., baby? You just getting it.
What's that Gucci song where he said make a bitch dance till her feet hurt? That's Donnie. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, that's Donnie.
Ooh,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
definitely giving that. Definitely
Baby.
giving.
I can't feel the AC no more. That's how fucked up you got me right now.
Well, can we also get into whatchamacallit's fit? Chloe's professional fit was also interesting. Love her down. One of my faves. Make no mistake, but the confessional fit was definitely giving like randomized sim. Definitely giving just like on the Sims, you know, they be the EA be doing the Sims, the randomized Townsy Sims dirty as hell. They just be looking any kind of way. Not to say that she's looking any kind of way, but it was the bob and then the makeup and then the jacket, the jean jacket. It was also giving a little butch tee. I was into it.
Very 90s, very early 90s of her.
Yeah.
Very early 90s.
Some heavy door knocker earrings.
My goodness.
To set it off.
I'm not mad at it. I did peep that wig and I was like, Chloe. No shade mother mine does. I was like, Chloe, we were doing so good. We're doing so well. But right. You know what? I'm mad at it. The girl experiments. That was she had worked the previous night. That's what that was.
True.
She worked the previous night.
In them back rooms, baby. She said I had to get my bearings after being in the back rooms.
Donnie said he was overcome with the stench of ass. My baby, I'm just saying if I walk in any place and I smell, I'm out of
ass. I'm walking right back out.
Yeah, everybody getting pepper sprayed with Lysol. I'm sorry. Yeah, I might be petty and put a lighter and make that bitch a flamethrower and just burn their ass up as I'm making my way out that motherfucker. Making my way downtown. Yeah, burn their ass up, bitch. Don't play with me.
I need the girls to be douched and ready. Like I don't need it to be smelling like ass. That's terrible.
Right? And I feel like the kids nowadays feel like they don't have time. Yes, you do.
You have time. You have time.
You do. Definitely.
There's always time. There's always time. Baby.
Listen, there's nothing but time, baby.
Right?
I think it's gonna always be there.
Time in the world, baby.
Listen, it's gonna always be there, and I'm telling you, he's gonna appreciate it more when it's peachy clean, baby. When it's squeaky, we're so clean, baby. It looked like Mr. Clean was up inside. That's my type of tea.
You know, I'm sorry. Loading. What she say? This pussy clean. This pussy
squeaky.
Like, yes.
Listen.
Something like a natural.
Don't do that.
Too natural for me.
Don't do that.
Natural for me.
Never.
They say they know their bodies. So
that's Ted Lee, Oliver Twix, and you know Twix is the Twix out of BBO. Is that natural? Because you cannot have.
Think they might have a BBO thing.
Okay, you cannot have an enhancement that
That be it.
Yeah, and not be natural. No, and be natural. And be I'm
Yeah.
sorry, no. You know, no.
He also
No.
said the look that Chloe gave was giving emo
It's emo,
vibes.
very much that.
I can see that for sure.
Very Avril Lavigne.
Yeah, very alternative, you know. Twix said he was self-cleaning. You know what? That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's because I have, you know what? Nothing, never mind. Um
Goodness. That's
Rick Carter said
horrible.
the 2 for 20 be a real friend. Yes, that 2 for 20 from Chili's. I know that's right.
Period.
Mm,
And okay, I wonder what tax that's gonna be about what? 21? About 21 something? If you
yes,
order
you know,
extra drinks, it's gonna be yeah. So yeah, do that. 2 for 20. I ain't mad at
yes,
that.
for
Or
20.
you can go to Chili's, not Chili's, you can go to Checkers and get that what is that, 2 for 10?
Mm-hmm.
That two
Mm-hmm.
for ten, baby. Now they heard they fries will give you heartburn and indigestion. But yeah, go get that 2 for 10, baby. Shout out to
Yes.
Checkers.
Um
I'm sorry, Twix
I
said
said,
his is self cleaning.
yeah, I
Wait.
to go from that to talking about food now is a mess.
Yeah,
But
I'm sorry because I saw extra wet. I'm like, what's going on? Okay.
extra
Extra wet,
crunchy, make
extra
sure the
crunchy.
fries are fresh. Yes, I know that's right.
That's wing snot, baby. I got some tenders from there.
Yeah.
Lemon pepper, and garlic parm sauce. That baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, them
I know
fucking
that's right.
tenders were wet and crunchy and juicy. Just
Hmm.
goodness,
I know that's right.
goodness.
But yeah, so they start to talk about, you know, like basically they talk about the party, of course, and then they talk about I guess something that Rio posted on his Instagram. And I guess he said that or I guess they said that he posted on his Instagram a sign that said Mexicans are niggas too.
And I said,
I said
I'm so happy that
mm,
the ignorance jumped out at the end of the season. I'm so happy that we made it 11 episodes into the season
yeah.
before the ignorance. And you know, I wanted to go Miss Burgess. That's how upset I was when I saw that damn post. I
Were
was
you gonna
so
give
happy.
a racial lesson?
No, the ignorancy. I'm so happy that the ignorancy jumped out. And that's not
Mm-hmm.
a word. If she our English teacher and don't know ignorancy is not a fucking word. Shout out to Miss Burgess wherever you are. But yeah, I'm like, I'm so happy that I'm never happy about ignorance. Blatant stupidity. Like you will literally get slapped in the fucking face. But I was like, homeboy, this
You know,
this this
everybody
this new school of entrepreneurs are dumb as fuck. Like
they they are. They
nobody
are.
is. I think what it is everybody, not everybody. A lot of these people are following these online courses,
Mm-hmm.
and they aren't really business savvy. They don't know how to operate as like an entrepreneur would. Certain shit you can't say and certain shit you can't do. You got to act a certain way all the time. Like you're an entrepreneur,
Right.
people are always watching. You're a business owner. People are always watching you. So I don't know what the hell is going on with this goddamn generation where people aren't mindful or these business owners aren't mindful of like what the fuck they say and what they
Right.
do. But
It's
y'all
yeah.
gotta tighten the fuck
That's
up.
why
Like
I mean, he does work in nightlife, but I think if you want to transition into like luxury, like even like corporate, like business, like corporate meetings, corporate events, like you cannot be posting stuff like that on your Instagram. Like that's common sense. Like you have to keep it professional. I don't know if that was his personal page or if that was, you know, his,
his personal
you know,
page.
yeah. But I'm dumb. I'm thinking like do you wanna do corporate parties? They are not gonna have them damn strippers at no damn corporate party.
Listen, you
Not
never
in
know.
public anyway. Yeah, but you never know. You never
Yeah, that's an
know.
after event maybe, but
G Baby Who Baby is that's a good point. He also works a 9 to 5 as well. So I mean we be talking our shit on this show, but I don't know.
yeah,
I
nothing
wouldn't
that's gonna
post that.
ever cost me my goddamn job or
Yeah.
have people looking at me like, what the fuck this nigga just say?
Um
It's also
also
curious because it makes me wonder what type of party or event did Rio. I don't even know if this time was at a goddamn event that Rio was having, but it just makes me wonder what type of event or party they would have where they would be like Mexicans are niggas. Like, who the fuck goes to a party and creates a sign to hold that up? So it makes me think like, one, it was a party full of Hispanic people,
Hmm.
like, and then it's probably a room full of Hispanic people that feel a certain way about black people. Like this sign, this
Yeah.
message is very, it's inappropriate as fuck.
Right. Well,
Rio,
I
you
feel
know
like
what? I'm not gonna get into it because I feel like we're gonna end up discussing the whole diversity or the different struggles that black people
yeah.
go through and then Hispanic people go through. So that was brought up in the chasing comments, but I don't think Rio understands that, gets it.
Well, and to me, I think that's why that is so interesting to me. That statement is so interesting because it's like, of course, like, and I think Donnie's of all people said it in such a like articulate way. He was just like, we have two different ancestry, two different histories. It's not the same. We're different.
Right.
Like y'all have y'all struggles, we have our struggles too, but like it's not the same. Like y'all are
Right.
not, now if you want to get into, there are black Mexicans in terms of like, where Africans settled, like in history where like some of the
Right.
slaves settled are is technically Mexico. You like I don't think you're a black person. Like you are a Hispanic Mexican American person, which is fine. But yeah, saying that black people or Mexicans are niggas too to me is just I don't know. It kind of rubs me the wrong way because I feel like it kind of goes back to the whole like everybody wants to be black, but nobody wants to be black. And I feel
Hmm.
like when people see black people kind of championing, not to say that there aren't other races that, you know, are vocal about their issues and stuff, but I feel like when people see black people, they kind of want to like attach themselves to that and be like, oh, well, I go through those struggles too. And it's like, yes, you do, but like there's nuance there. Like you're not a black person. Like you may witness like prejudice for being Mexican or Hispanic, not white, but you're not black. Like it's two different things. Like
Hmm.
we're over here, you know, doing our thing and like trying to champion for our rights. You're welcome to join. I feel like there should be solidarity, but like I don't know. To me, it's like saying that, like, how would like I feel like it would be like messed up for like a black person to say like, oh, black people are, and then insert a slur for like, Hispanic people, like, oh, we're that too. It's like that's disrespectful to that group of people because you're
Very
using a
true.
slur that affects them. Like, I feel like everybody else on the cast besides Rio, Jet, Jeff, and Zesty, like if they're getting called niggas, like that's gonna hit them differently than if somebody was to call you a nigga. Like it's not gonna
Very
hit you the
true.
same way. Like you're gonna be like, okay, I guess you're being trying to be funny, like you're insulting me, but it's not gonna hit you the same way because you don't have that same history and that same experience. So maybe open up a book, and I get it. He just posted it just to post it, but it's just like you got to be careful with stuff like that because
Right.
you on a show full of black people, just like how Donnie
Very
should have been
true.
careful when he approached Zesty on the deportation stuff. So,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, Don D said two different struggles. Yes, agreed. Like we are not the same. I feel like we're in this space where people are trying to like rewrite history and make it seem like, oh, these people are black and these people are black and these people, and it's like no. Like there are black Mexicans. Rio and Zesty are not that. Like that's not what it's given. Um, but it was no outrage for Rio compared to Donnie when he said his thing. I'm just saying. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how the rest of the group feels about it. We only got three people's perspective on what he posted. I don't know when he posted that. Maybe it's going to be something they talk about later in the next episode or whatever. But I'm sure some people are going to be tight about it because it's like, what are you trying to say? Like,
Hmm.
you know. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I feel like with all this racial tension, they need to watch The Color of Friendship or some shit. I don't know. They need to watch something to what's that movie, the Martin Luther King. It's like an animated movie. Did you watch that in
That one,
school?
yes. The
They
every
need
goddamn
to watch that too.
from grades, I believe 4 to
Yes.
12, senior year.
They need
Yes,
to watch
yes,
that one as well.
yes. That movie was kind of lit, low key.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a key, but do you have any lasting thoughts on that statement or how they felt about it or the racial tension?
Everybody wants to be, like you said, everybody wants to be black until. It's actually time to face the injustices that black people go through. Like, you're
Yeah.
gonna be black, but you aren't profiled like, I mean, probably are, but you aren't
100%.
profiled and snatched out of your car and beat
Yeah.
and choked, and have somebody like place their knee on like your fucking neck. So like until
Yeah.
you face some shit like that, you can never say like we are the same. Like black people and Hispanic people are the same because it's like
Yeah, and this
they're
kind of
not.
brings me back to what like Jayla and Seven Deep and them were saying. I don't fully agree with their stance, but I do feel like this is an example of like somebody coming into a black space and or just being around black people and getting too comfortable to the point where they
Mhm.
feel like they're a part of the culture and they experience the world the same way black people experience, and it's like
Mhm.
no, it's different. Like you may be around niggas, you may sleep with a couple niggas, all of that, listen to hip-hop, all of that, but you don't have the black experience. It's not the same, and it don't need to be. Like Mexican people have their issues, like black people have their issues, we have our triumphs and our things we're proud of in our culture. Like it's different. It don't need to be the same. But I feel like because like black people tend to be like at the top of like the cultural influence, it's always like going back to black people and like likening
Mhm.
themselves to black people. And it's just like, no, this is ours. Like, like I don't know. But
Because they're saying TikTok did it sell because the black creators won't create no dances, or the black TikTokers won't create new dances.
yeah,
So
yeah.
TikTok
I
over there going
mean,
through a drought, baby.
it's that it's even like sayings and stuff, like the sayings that people have come up with, regular black people have come up with, and then you have like Netflix and like all these other like big corporations taking it and like using it as ad, like to make more money and get more attention. And it's like, to me, that's cultural appropriation. Like you're literally profiting off of a group of people that you don't care about. Like, so I don't know. um I think it's an interesting conversation, though. I hope that they kind of address it at some point, because I don't think Rio should just, they should just let him get off on like saying that, especially being around a bunch of black people, and of course, being upset that Donnie said that about the deportation shit. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. Um, but yeah, um, G baby, who would be said, I love the way you articulate your stance. Thank you. Oh,
Yes.
call me Key, so you must be the character for me. But yes, thank you. Thank you. But yeah,
Yes.
that was pretty much the end of the episode. Like I said, I thought it was a pretty fun episode. It was a lot going on. I would probably give it like a B plus, to be honest.
Okay. I would
Yeah.
say same here. B plus.
Okay.
B plus.
Yes. Big B, and the B stands for bands
Or bird.
or
Shout out to
bisexual.
bird. You ain't shit,
Oh my
baby.
god.
My
Or baby
goodness.
powder, because it's hot as hell.
It is very goddamn hot. Like, definitely got to use some baby powder. Baby,
Yeah.
it's yeah. I think deodorant might just sweat right the fuck off. So yeah, baby powder, powder them pooches, powder them
Hmm.
armpits. Um, Shout out to the girl Kiki, the comedian Benji Brown. Remember Kiki used to put powder on her neck when it was hot outside? I
Yes.
think that's the type of vibe I'm on, baby. Go grab me some
It
cornstarch and
gets
just
sweaty.
literally,
Just a sweaty neck. A
literally,
cornstarch. Jesus. You might have
that
some
might,
mush going out of that. I don't know.
yeah. Let me not do that. Some baby powder. So yeah, let me go grab some baby powder. Not
Baby
mushrooms, bitch. Don't do me. My goodness. Yeah, let me go grab some baby powder.
I'm
Of
dead.
course, shower and
Yes.
everything.
Well,
Yeah.
once again, thank you to everybody that watched, that came through. We
Yes.
look forward to the next episode. I think there's one episode left, like G Baby Who Baby said. So I don't know. I'm excited to see the reunion. I'm excited to see Chasing LA, even though I think some drama happened with Chasing LA while they were filming. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, definitely feel free to leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Any last words, Troy?
Thank you to everybody who came through and key with us and carried with us on this hot ass Saturday.
Hot ass Saturday.
Yes, stay cool, stay hydrated. And we will see you guys next Saturday, same time, same place, to conclude this very roller coaster season of Chasing Dallas.
Yes. All right. It's been Key and Carrie. I'm Damon.
And Troy,
And we will see y'all in the next one. Peace.
have a good weekend, everybody.
Yes. Be safe.
Peace.